do try to get here, but the Wrestling Escape Pod always tends to overrun, and it has overrun once again. But yeah, we're here, we're live, we're covering NXT tonight, and honestly, it looks like a pretty good show. So we have got, if I can find the WWE website, we have got the official preview, which we'll get our teeth into, and then we'll jump into the chat and see where the conversation is. So tonight we have got a triple threat to see who is going to take on Ethan Page at No Mercy. Now, considering Ethan Page is a heel, I can't imagine it being Wesley, because Wesley is a heel. I can't imagine it being Pete Dunne, because Pete Dunne is a heel. So it only leaves Joe Hendry. The fact that it looks like we're going to get Joe Hendry versus Ethan Page for the NXT Championship is just bonkers. Imagine if someone had said that a few months ago, that was the title match we were going to end up with. It's just bonkers. So it very much looks like Joe Hendry is going to pick up the victory in that one. Then we've got a Gauntlet Eliminator to determine who's going to face Roxanne Perez. Is it going to be Jada Parker? Is it going to be Carmen Petrovich? Is it going to be some girl I can't remember the name of? Is it going to be The Riz? Is it going to be Sol Ruka? Or is it going to be Ren Sinclair? So we've got that. It's Kendall Gray. Kendall Gray is the one I couldn't remember. So we've got that in a gauntlet match. Winner will go on to face Roxanne Perez. Then we've got Lola Vice taking on Wendy Chu. That could be interesting. And then we've got Hank and Tank taking on Gallows and Anderson, which I don't know, it's hard to get excited for that. But yeah, that's a match in it. That's a match. It's a match that's definitely going to be happening tonight. I know that much. So it's going to be a match, and we're going to watch it, and we'll talk about it. So, you know, that's happening as well. But yeah, the triple threat, the gauntlet match, Lola against Wendy, still plenty there for us to enjoy. So that's the breakdown. And I want to jump in and say hello. Daze, I tweeted you about Hogan. He's being racist again. I have seen this. So he was like questioning about Kamala, wasn't he? And like, it's all a bit political. So I've not seen his exact comments. I mean, the facts. The fact that Hogan, of all people, is coming out with, you know, such comments is probably a stupid move, but maybe he's just at the point in his career where he's like, I'm going all in and I'm supporting the Republicans. We'll get there. I'm going to support the Republicans, which is absolutely fine. And, you know, I'll just say whatever to make sure that they get over the line. And maybe he's just sort of thrown away, like, I don't know, any sort of personal PR. I mean, he's trying to sell beer. He's trying to sell this American beer. I can't understand how these comments are in any way going to be helpful to him. Or even if they're going to be helpful to the Republican Party, to be honest. So, I don't know. It's all American politics. It's all, you know, heavy stuff, isn't it? No fun to be found there. But I did see it. It is all over Twitter today, the comments of Hulk Hogan. Random Tube, hello, my friends. Shout out to you. Random Tube said sources are saying with Daze's age, he's starting to forget when he schedules streams. Hey, Daze. Random Tube, shout out to you. I wish it was my age, because then I could just make fun of it. But it's the Wrestling Escape Pod. It always overruns. I mean, I suppose I can make fun of my poor timekeeping, but it's so difficult, you know, because I always think to myself, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to end the Wrestling Escape Pods at like 5 minutes before the hour ends, and then I'll start this stream early. People won't expect that. Like, that's always my dream. But I always end up having such fun. I think what I need to do is I need to do the pictures first, because I really enjoy going through the Instagram photos of the week. I need to do them first and then do the little chit chat we do afterwards. Because when we're doing the pictures and we're going through the pictures, I just find it so hard to leave. I really do enjoy. I do enjoy the Wrestling Escape Pod. So yeah, blame that, my friends. Blame that. It's not because I'm a boomer, but you could blame that as well if you want to. I'll be all right with that. So, Random Choo, appreciate the support, my friends, and hope you are well. And hope you're looking forward to NXT, which, honestly, I mean, outside of Hank and Tank, and not massive fans of Hank and Tank, outside of that, I think it looks like it could be pretty fun. Curtis said, I've got one question and one question only. What colour is your phone case? Well, my phone case is black, right? But look at the detail at the bottom there, right? Lovely detailing at the bottom, okay? Lovely grip on the sides. Yeah, a little bit of extra summer on the corner. So, I mean, we can try and paint a picture that this is just a black phone case. How dull. But actually, the devil is in the detail. I mean, look at the lines there by the camera. Lovely. That bit at the bottom is very nice, isn't it? I mean, that's a bit of class. That is a bit of class down there. So, that is a lovely... I mean, that... I think would score okay. I don't think it would like set the world on fire, but I think if I was naked and I had that in the picture with me and I was to submit that photo for the fun phone case folder, I think it would score quite well, to be honest. I think it would score quite well. So yeah, it's a lovely little Pixel phone, this as well. Pixel 8. The Pixel 9 has come out now. But, do you know, I've told this story before. When I started on YouTube, I had, obviously, 0 subscribers. Everyone does. So I started with 0 subscribers. And when I got to 40,000 subscribers, I did not own a PC. I did not own a laptop. I did not own a webcam or a camera or anything. No lights. I just had a Pixel phone, and that got me to 40,000 subscribers. Because the thing with the Pixel phone was that you could just put it on a stand, press records, and using like software that you can get from the phone, like from the Google Play Store, you could edit the video. Using the YouTube app, you could upload the video. Using PixArt, I could make the thumbnail. I could manage my social media from here. I could do everything. I could do, like, if I was toy hunting, I could film it. If I was filming at home, I could film it. Editing, you could do on your phone. I would imagine that is still possible. I mean, I don't do that now. Because obviously we're streaming and I need like all these graphics and all that kind of stuff. Maybe that would be difficult to do on a phone. Perhaps that would be a step too far. But if you didn't want all these graphics and the green screen and all of that, you could probably do the streaming off your phone as well. It's a myth that you need to spend tons of money to, like, you know, you need all this equipment, you need like this best camera, this microphone and all this kind of stuff. It makes things better. And if you are going to be doing it permanently, it's better to invest in those things. But that should never be something that stops people from getting into YouTube. I think it was a Pixel 1. The channel got to 40,000 subscribers just off a Pixel phone. Daze, why did they change Uncle Howdy's hair like the dreads? It looks like he was going on a date night, said Nathan. Love that, date night. To be honest, I don't know. I mean, that could be a very interesting video that we might end up doing, like, why did they change his look? What I do know is that he has had several masks made. I think it was Tom Colohue that said that Nikki had the second most masks made just behind Uncle Howdy. So we knew that there was other Howdy masks. We just didn't know quite what they were going to look like. And this feels like a different mask, slightly different color. It doesn't feel anything drastic, but I think that they're still I don't know that they're looking for the final form, but I think that he's quite happy for it to have some different looks. I think he's quite happy for Howdy to have straight hair, have dreads, have like a dirty mask, have a blue mask. I think he's quite happy to not just have it settled as just one thing. I don't know that it's like evolving or changing and we'll never go back to what we had. I mean, I don't think we go back to the OG Howdy from like 2022. But, you know, the one that was sat in the chair the other week with the dreads, I'm sure we see that version again. And I'm sure the one that we saw this week, I'm sure we see that version again as well. So I just think it's, for me personally, I'm looking at it knowing they made a few masks. I'm thinking that he just wants to have a bit of freedom with his look and just kind of mix it up and, you know, not just have a character that just looks the same way all the time. I suppose in a way, I mean, they did that with The Fiend because if you think about The Fiend obviously had a new Fiend coming that had a different mask, different attire. So even The Fiend, like, had, not drastically, but even The Fiend, like, had different looks. I mean, yeah, we had Burnt Fiend as well, but there was other little variations that the Fiend had. And as we said, that whole new Fiend that we never even got to see, he had a new mask and everything. So even with the Fiend, I think we will have seen different incarnations of that character. And I think that's just what we're getting with Howdy now. So I expect to see the Dreads Howdy again. I just think it's one of his many looks that he can turn to whenever he wants to, really. Is it the ring gear mask? But I have to question why they don't use it when they did an in-ring reveal. I don't know that it's an in-ring mask, to be honest, because I don't think that there's anything wrong with the other mask. It could prove to be that that is an in-ring mask and the other masks are not in-ring. That's a perfectly fine theory, but I don't know that that's correct. I would question as to what was so drastically different between this and the other masks, which means that the other mask is not usable in the ring when it looks absolutely fine, to be honest. And he's been physical with that mask as well, so I don't know. Yeah, it's a theory, but I think there's a theory that it's just an alternative look and that he wants to kind of mix it up and not just have the same look. So we'll have to wait and see, won't we? If we start to see a pattern of him wearing the same thing when he wrestles, then, you know, we've got an answer. Random Tube said, why didn't they use... Oh, we read that one. Fallon said, Snake on Nokia used to... Oh, yeah, I used to love that game. Snake on Nokia. Do you know, it's so funny, isn't it? When you don't have much and you have to make do with what you've got, you really enjoy it. But when you've got a lot of stuff... So what I'm thinking is on phones now, you've got thousands of free games. So, you know, even if you've got, like, not much money, but you just want to play some, there's loads of stuff you can play for free. Granted, there's in-app purchases you got to be careful of, but other than that, you can play loads of stuff for free. But it doesn't hit the same. You're just sort of spoilt for choice. Whereas back in the day when you had a Nokia phone and you only had Snake, well, you played that and you know, had the best, you know, you just made the best of it, really. And it was good. It was great. I mean, there was no problems with Snake. So, yeah, it's good times, that was. I'm sure you could probably get Snake now, but, you know, mobile games are so impressive. You can have, like, Grand Theft Auto 3, can't you? You can have Vice City and everything on your phone now. It's crazy. Nathan said, we have Whataburger Howdy and Date Night Howdy. You are welcome, everyone, says Nathan. Jordan, shout out to you. And Fallon Footwear said, I remember having my 13th birthday at Hooters and playing Snake on the way there. Well, it sounds like you're living life the right way, my friend. It sounds like you're living your best life. If you're having 13-year-old birthday parties at Hooters, then God bless you. Let me know. God only knows what you're doing now at this age. Because I'm guessing that you're outdoing yourself each year. So, God only knows what. You must be swimming in a mountain of cocaine. Curtis said, I think he'll sign another deal. I'm hoping so. Who are we referring to? Where's Dort Knight? Gundogan. Yeah, he is looking like he's going to be out of Barcelona, isn't he? Which is interesting. Did you see Mercedes wanted to return at WrestleMania 39, said Christopher. Do you think we see her return? Yeah, I think we definitely see her return. I think we definitely see her return, but I think it'll be on WWE's terms. I don't think WWE are desperate for Mercedes. I don't think Mercedes has gone away and made herself a bigger star. I actually think Mercedes has gone away and made herself a smaller star. I don't think she is as big as she was when she was Sasha Banks. You know, with Cody being Stardust, he went away, reinvented himself, found a whole new gimmick, and kind of came back with a fresh purpose and the American Nightmare. And, you know, it was quite easy to see that you could get more out of this version of Cody than you could the Stardust version of Cody, which is not hard. But I don't know. Can we say that you can get more out of this version of Mercedes Moné than you could out of Sasha Banks? I mean, Sasha Banks that had already main evented WrestleMania. Sasha Banks that had already been multiple-time women's champion. Don't forget, when Cody went away, he hadn't main evented WrestleMania. He hadn't fulfilled his potential. But you could make the argument that they got a lot out of Sasha. So I sort of feel like she's in a bit of a tricky position because she's getting paid loads of money in AEW. I just really don't know that WWE are going to come in and match that kind of money. I could see them offering her a lower amount and it being take it or leave it. I mean, WWE are not hurting by having her on the outside of the company. WWE, you know, fine. I mean, killing it. Rhea, Liv, killing it. Bailey. I mean, I would love to have Mercedes back. I think she does provide something. I think she's a great talent. I think she is a star, you know. I think she's highly trained, and I think she is someone that has got her fan base and her fans. And, you know, she was someone that got to the main event of WrestleMania. She was someone that we saw that much in. Someone that was always used in big feuds, and she's one of the original 4 horsewomen. To me, she's someone that I would love to see back in WWE, but the stumbling block is going to be the money. I mean, the money she's being paid by AEW is, I mean, record-breaking, I've heard. I've heard it's more than any woman in the industry. So for her to come back to WWE, are they going to want to pay that? I'm not sure they are. If she'll take a reduction and get more in line with kind of where the pay bracket is, if she'll get more in line with, I don't know, whatever Rhea's being paid, whatever Bailey's being paid, whatever Bianca's being paid, whatever Jade's being paid, wherever like the top girls are. If Sasha will come down and into that level, then sure. But if she's going to want to keep earning the money that she's earning, that could be a stumbling block. We might naturally get there, but I don't think we're there yet in WWE. So a couple of little problems I think that will need to get solved. And to be honest, I don't see her coming in anytime soon because I think she's quite happy with AEW. She's only been in AEW for, is it about 6-7 months? Something like that. Still feels relatively early for her. Like, I don't know how long her contract runs for, but can't see her coming into WWE for a good few years at least. And then, as I said, it's going to come down to money, and if WWE think it's worth paying the amount that she's looking for, or if she's willing to take a pay cut, or don't know, I'll have to see. But yeah, I did hear that she was thinking of coming back for WrestleMania 39, and then plans changed when Tony came in for her. James said it proves that she just cares more about fame and money. Spartan, hello. Tony Khan is like Todd from Chelsea. But when Rhea's deal comes up, she needs to be the highest paid woman, said the Beach Kevin. Mercedes Moné sounds like a lady of the night, said Matt. I don't mind the name, you know. I think is it Monet or is it Money? I mean, I always say Monet, and I think it sounds better. Mercedes Money. I just don't. I think Mercedes Moné has just got that extra flair to it, so I prefer it being Mercedes Moné, but I don't actually know what it is. But Yeah, I don't mind the name. I don't mind the CEO thing. I know it can irritate some. I don't mind that. You see, like, it's not drastically different to OTC, is it, for Roman, and people are loving that. So I mean, I don't mind it. Don't mind Mercedes Moné. I don't know how she's been doing in AEW, because as I keep saying, I don't watch it, so I really don't know. But I wish her all the best. I wish her all the best. I've got no ill will towards her. I wasn't crazy about her walking out. I didn't think she'd dealt with that the right way. So I wasn't crazy about that, but that's water under the bridge a long, long time ago. I think there are still people that kind of hold a grudge against her for that. And we're talking about something that happened years ago under a different regime as well. So for me, it's a different world now. I don't hold a grudge against her for that. Brony said, I would have Trick win the NXT title towards the end of the year, give him about 4 or 5 months, and then he gets called up after Mania 41. Thoughts? Yeah, I'd be down with that. We spoke about this the other day, and we were talking about the fact that, for me, NXT is like your driving test. In the sense of, when I went for my driving test, I remember my instructor saying, now listen, going to tell you a piece of advice that I always tell everyone, and that is, take your time, go do everything that we've gone through. You've passed your mock tests and you know what you need to do, but just remember that you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be the finished article. This isn't about getting 10 out of 10 on every single score. It's just about getting the box ticked. It's about ticking the box at this stage. Are you safe to drive on your own? Yes or no? That's what it comes. It's not, are you the greatest driver that ever lived? It's, are you safe to drive on your own? Can you continue to learn and not be a danger to others? If the answer to that is yes, well, then you're going to pass your test and everything's going to be fine. And it's not that big of a deal, because, your driving test is, obviously, they say, like, one of the most stressful things you can do in the early part of your life or whenever you take it. And so, like, that was quite interesting. And I feel the same applies to a lot of different things. I feel like you can take that same advice and apply it to, I don't know, say if you just started a new job and you're in a probation period. It's about ticking the box of them wanting to keep you around. It's not about being the best. It's not about, like, acing everything. Like, that's a big expectation to put on yourself, That's a lot of weight to put on your shoulders. It's about ticking the box. I really feel like that applies to life. I really feel like that applies to life. If I apply it to YouTube, because we were talking about YouTube earlier, I've seen so many people come and go on YouTube. I've been doing this since 2016, and we've been live streaming since 2018. And we just keep ourselves to ourselves. And honestly, I think it's just the best way of doing it, because I think if you was kind of looking at what other people are doing and comparing to how you're doing and all that kind of stuff, like, you would drive yourself insane very, very quickly. There might be times where you'd be thrilled because you're doing really well in comparison to the industry. There might be times where you're not doing as good and you might drive yourself insane, desperately trying to fix stuff and change stuff and all this kind of stuff. I think it's about ticking the box. It's about doing what you need to do, getting the result that you need to get, and, moving on, sticking around, staying in the game, moving forwards. So I think it applies to if you've got a new job. I think it applies to if you're on social media. That would apply to TikTok. If you've got a TikTok account and you're looking at other TikTok accounts and you're way behind, don't worry about it. Stay in the game. Just, set your targets. If you reach those targets, thumbs up, tick. If you don't reach those targets, well, then it's on you to, reassess why you didn't and, try and do better next time. And I think that applies to NXT in the sense of they don't need to be WrestleMania main eventers. They don't need to come out of NXT as God's gift to wrestling. They don't need to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. They just need to have the boxes ticked. Do they belong on the main roster? Yes or no? And for me, Trick Williams is an easy yes. That box is ticked. Is he the greatest in ring? No, he doesn't match up to an Osprey. But I mean, that's a ludicrous kind of thing to put on him. Promo wise, you know, is he as great as MJF? No. But again, is the box ticked? Yeah, the box is ticked. Has he got an aura? Is his presentation right? You know, what's his look like and all that kind of stuff? Are the boxes ticked? And I think that's a really good way of just kind of... It's one of those pieces of advice that you get on life, on the journey of life. And you just go, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Makes a lot of sense. Sometimes you don't have to be, like, the best. Like, it's about just being in the game. It's about, like, moving forward and learning and developing and progressing and not putting that weight on your shoulders. And I got that from my driving test years and years and years ago about, like, you know, don't try and go out there and, like, do everything 10 out of 10, you know? Obviously, you can't be making serious mistakes, but, you know, if you get minor mistakes, you're allowed so many of those. I think it's 12 or something. So if you do make the odd little minor mistake, it's not a problem. You're allowed to. It's just you can't make 30, you know? So do everything to the best of your ability, but don't worry if it's not 10 out of 10. So yeah, I would not be down on that. Bringing him up after WrestleMania 41, I'd have no problem with that whatsoever. I think this is where I think a lot of people get a bit stuck, in the sense of, and we've spoke about this before, I think the step up from NXT is massive. I think to go from NXT, where you're in that building all the time, every day, or like not far for the actual performance center. I think the performance center is just a few warehouses down. So you're in that area training, and then when it's time for the show, you're at the PC, right? So you're going to the same place all the time. You're living in Florida. The house shows are Florida, right? You're not traveling all over the country. You're barely even traveling all over Florida. You're just doing... They don't even use them that often for house shows. There's not loads of NXT house shows. You'll have a few a month, but it's not like they're out every single day. And so to go from that to going all over the world, going to Saudi Arabia, going to Germany, going to France, going to Scotland, going to Canada and Chicago and New York, and like just traveling everywhere. They did like a series of house shows in Mexico. Like, honestly, the difference between being an NXT superstar and a main roster superstar it's night and day. It is night and day. So I think there has to be some ability or some understanding that there's going to be time to adjust. This is why whatever they do with Ilya is no problem. Ilya, I've got no doubt, will be fine. But, you know, it's taking a bit of time to get going with him, and that's okay. Because he's learning the ropes, and he's around, and he's figuring out his place and his presentation, and... You know, he's getting used to sleeping in hotels and being on the road and being away from his family, and so much renting cars, actually having car rentals that are ready for you and driving. And, you know, we see lots to do with like cancelled flights and disruptions and all this kind of stuff. I mean, so much using the app as well. They have an app that gives them their schedule and everything, like just stuff like that. Getting used to like new faces, new locker room. You know, I don't think there's stupid rules anymore, but back in the day, like there was things that you should do, shouldn't do, and it was all very inside baseball kind of stuff, you know? Like you could easily upset someone back in the day. And, you know, The Miz has said that he actually spent, was it like the first year, not even allowed in the locker room because people didn't think he belonged. So he had to get changed outside, and he went to Undertaker and said to Undertaker, I would love the opportunity to go into the locker room and actually change in the locker room. You hear those stories and you're like, what? But that's what happened. That was what happened. I don't think that's what happens now. I think it's a very different place now, but I'm sure there are still quirks, still things which, you know, are taboo that you should do, shouldn't do. I think, isn't it like someone? I heard an interview with someone that says that when you get called up to the roster, you should shake the hand of everyone. Like, if you're someone that keeps yourself to yourself, it doesn't go down very well. You should go up to people and go, introduce yourself. Hello, I'm such and such. Shake the hand of Randy Orton. Shake the hand of Triple H. Shake the hand of Michael Cole. You should do that. There's obviously people that get called up that are more timid. They're more introverted. They don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to say something wrong. They just want to keep themselves to themselves. All these politics that you have to negotiate and maneuver. It's shark-infested waters. So, yeah, honestly, I think that call-up is huge. I really... It never bothers me if someone gets called up and don't get used for quite a while, because I just think I put myself in their shoes and I think about what they're going through, and I just think that adjustment is huge. It is huge. I mean, flip side of the coin is if you've got someone really exciting that you want to move with, they won't worry about just going and moving with you. I mean, look at Bron Breakker. They've moved really quickly with him. He's having to do all that stuff we've just said. They're having to do that at the same time, but the system's changed a little bit because now they've got main event and they call up NXT for main event. Now we've got more stars coming down to NXT. You've got CM Punk popping into rehab. You've got Orton popping into rehab there. NXT stars are making these connections at the NXT level. Look at Roxanne and Cora Jade. When they get called up, there's so many people they know already on the main roster. They've got CM Punk right there, who's a good friend. Natalia is a good friend. Becky has been down and has worked with them. They know if she comes back, they would know Becky. Bayley has been around. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's a bit different now, the way that they've structured it. And I think it's so that it's not as daunting. They do try to find ways of making the NXT talent feel more integrated. They just did a SmackDown or a Raw at Florida, and in the crowd, we had Ethan Page, we had Trick Williams. We know that Kalani and the NXT crew were there as well. They were invited along. So there's a lot of kind of integration that they try to do. Yeah, there's lots. I feel like there's lots we could talk about on that topic. Kurt said, I think it has been Nakamura, even though he wasn't used well anyway before. Karl, shout out to you, said Daze over under 5.5. The number of tsunamis for Strowman in their match. I'm gonna go under. I think that there will be a tsunami that gets hit. I think that there could be a few tsunamis that get hit, but I don't know that we're going to be going over 5 tsunamis. So if I was over under, I'd go under. I do quite fancy Bronson Reed to get the win in that, though. James said Roxanne too. Yeah, Roxanne. Lots of connections for her, for Cora Jade. Obviously, Becky, I think, helped Lyra a lot. And I suppose it's good as well because the example I gave earlier about The Miz, those people hadn't come through NXT because it was before NXT. So those people had come through developmental, but developmental was very different because there was lots of developmental schools. There wasn't just one, there was a few. And some people just came straight in. They didn't even go through the developmental system, right? So people kind of came in various different ways from various different places. So it wasn't really the same. Now with NXT, it's a third brand in it. It's very much integrated. And I think the majority of the roster have come through that system. So the majority of the roster know what it's like to go from NXT to the main roster, how daunting it is, the anxieties and all that kind of stuff that's connected with it. So I think the understanding is a lot greater. A lot greater. I mean, Undertaker came from WCW. Quite a few of the old school guys came from other promotions. So for them, they're not thinking, they're from a world where you did travel around a little bit more. Certainly in the 80s, if you weren't in WWE and you was NWA, then you would work in different territories. So you would be in different locker rooms. So for a Ric Flair, for a Triple H, for a Undertaker, for those kind of 80s guys, you was someone that kind of went into different locker rooms and, you know, traveled on your own, and I don't know, you just had to be harder. Yeah, like you just had to do that stuff. There was no time to worry about it or get anxious about it. If you wanted to live and make money, you had to just do it. And so now, like, I think those guys don't quite understand the new generation and like what it's like for like a Roxanne to come up from NXT and what it's like, how daunting it is and all that kind of thing. Can't really understand. Don't think they can really sympathize, but the majority of the roster can now because they've done it. Most people have come through NXT, so most people understand, don't they? So yeah, very interesting, the evolving state of professional wrestling and the connection to its developmental systems. Definitely something I think AEW need to do is get a really strong developmental system. I always thought they would use Ring of Honor for that, and maybe they are, but that would make a lot of sense to me, to use Ring of Honor as like an NXT type thing, and then, you know, kind of integrate that into the product, very much like how NXT is integrated with, you know, stars going down and doing the odd match. I mean, we know that Punk and Randy are going to be on the CW episodes of NXT. We know there's plenty of stars. I mean, Pete Dunne's going to be in action tonight. He's on the show. We got Gallows and Anderson down there, you know, so I think it's really beneficial. Really beneficial. I think they could do with something similar. Right, Wrestle Dandy said, Daze, who do we think is going to win the #1 contender for the women's title tonight? Hello, Wrestle Andy. I hope you are well. Well, I tell you what we can do. We can put that into a poll because I feel like I've just done a lot of talking, and I think we could get some reaction from people as to who wins. So, who is it? It's Roxanne, so surely it's a face that's going to win, okay? Surely a face. Or I would think a face. So, Carmen is a face. Riz is a face. Solruka is a face. Might be a bit early for the Riz, actually. Perhaps Ren Sinclair is a little bit more possible. I think it's too early for Kendall. It might be too early for the Riz. And then Jada is interesting, but Jada's... I don't know. Is Jada a heel? That's interesting. Is Jada a heel? Jada could win. They could totally do Jada against Roxanne. That's tricky. I wish I had more options. I think Sol Ruka has got to be a front runner, and I think Ren is someone that they're really high on at the moment, so I think she's in the mix. Carmen is getting a lot of time, TV time. So Carmen, Ren, Sol. I do think Jada's got a chance, but I can only put so many in the poll, so there we go. Who do you think gets it? Carmen, Ren, Sol, or do you think it's one of the others? The others being Jada Parker, who I think stands a good chance, Kendall Gray, who I don't, or the Riz. I like the Riz, but I think it's too early for the Riz. I don't think the Riz is going to get that just yet. So there we go. Poll is up. Kurt said, under the Triple H era, who do we think has been the biggest waste of talent? Biggest waste of talent? Probably Ricochet or Shinsuke. I think that both of those are great talents. Shinsuke, because of his age, I could understand them not investing too much in, because I think he's in his mid-40s. And, you know, in this day and age, when you get to 40, that's fine. 42 is fine. But really, at this point, you know, you are starting to look at others to invest in. I mean, I don't think they, you know, LA Knight is knocking on a bit, and I don't think they were looking to really invest in LA Knight. LA Knight was a steady hand that was meant to come in and be a mid-carder, be a tag team guy, be a whatever, right? Mystery partner, you know, he's a good solid hand that you can use. But really, they're looking at Bron Breakker, aren't they? And they're looking at Trick Williams, and they're looking at Ilya Dragunov, and they're looking at Austin Theory, and they're looking at Grayson Waller, and they're looking at Gunther, and they're looking at that. That's the generation they're looking at. They're looking at building up those guys for the future. Someone like Shinsuke at the age of 45, I mean, he could be calling it quits any moment, couldn't he? He could call it quits next year, the year after, the year after. I mean, you might only get 2-3 years out of Shinsuke. So I can understand them not building him up too much, not using him too much. I suppose the only thing you would say is why keep him around them? I don't know if Shinsuke would mind, though, because Shinsuke might feel that he's had his career and he might be thinking, I'm just, you know, I'm on a good wage. I'm just making as much money as I can at this stage in my life. I'm sure he wishes that he was achieving more. But I don't know how unhappy Shinsuke would be. But he's a great talent. And I loved his promos with Seth. I thought they found a new way of presenting him that was really captivating. But it was very clear that as soon as Okada went to AEW, all of that stopped. It all stopped. And reports were that they were only doing that so that they could try and show Okada, come and join us, because this is what we can do for you. We can do this, and you could be treated like this. We can do your promos this way, and we can make you look really cool and put you in these big storylines. And then as soon as Okada chose AEW, that was it. Right, failed. And that was it for Shinsuke then. Or at least that's what the dirt sheets were saying. If there's truth to that, you'll have to decide for yourself. And then Ricochet, I mean, I've said it till I'm blue in the face, honestly. I don't even know if I need to keep going on about it. But I so believe with my whole heart, my whole entity, that there is such value in a light heavyweight championship belt. A light heavyweight championship that is limited for a certain weight. So if it is 205, anyone over 205 cannot compete for it. That's it. That's the only rule. If you're under 205, you can compete for it. And it is classed as a world title, right? It is classed as a world title. So if Ray won it 5 times, he would be 5-time world champion, right? You treat it as a world championship. And it's there to give opportunity for those smaller guys that just don't stand a chance or much of a chance against a Roman Reigns, against a Brock Lesnar, against a Braun Strowman. I mean, wrestling, I think, is so outdated in that regard. It's not even outdated. I think it's just outright wrong. I just don't understand how boxing has got like 20 weight classes, how UFC has got like 20 weight classes, bare knuckle fighting and all this kind of stuff. Weight and how much you weigh is so important in all these sports. And then when it comes to pro wrestling, we're like, nah, we'll just have the one. We'll just have the one belt. Everyone can fight for it. And I just don't get it. I mean, you can say that, well, yeah, Ray won the world title and it wasn't a problem then, but that was such an exception. Such an exception. Whenever the small guy gets the world title, it's a real celebration of the underdog did it. It's the underdog story, because it's just not meant to happen. It's just not what happens. It's Roman, it's Cena, it's Orton. Have you seen the size of Orton? What kind of a chance does a Ricochet stand? How many more times world champion should Rey Mysterio be? Rey Mysterio should be a multiple-time world champion, one of the greatest mass wrestlers of all time. But he just cannot get past those big monsters. So I really feel like if we had a belt, and even if it was just one, even if you just set the limit to 205, at least then, if someone weighs 200 pounds, not having to wrestle someone that's 400 pounds or 350 pounds, or do you know what I mean? I just feel like wrestling is really off there. Imagine Ricochet as the light heavyweight champion. And imagine if that light heavyweight championship was being defended in main events. And imagine if we had some really good stories going. Imagine we did Ray as the light heavyweight champion defending his belt against Dominic. I don't know what Dominic weighs, but if he can make it into the just under 205, do a segment where you weigh Dominic and he clocks in at 205, and you could even have Ray doubting if it's true. And Ray, like, no, he was 220 the other week. There's no way he's 205 now. And you've got Dominic, like, what can I tell you? I'm 205. And, you know, it turns out that there has been some fiddling of the scales or something like that, you know? But imagine that. Ray versus Dominic, light heavyweight championship. And then you could have had Ricochet going for it. You could have Pete Dunne going for it. You could have Ilya Dragunov going for it. You could have Johnny Gargano going for it. It'd be a sick division, man. I thought the Cruiserweight Classic was the right call. But instead of putting everyone up for the Cruiserweight title, which was not classed as a world title, they flipping had its own separate division, which I thought was completely wrong. If you weren't on the Cruiserweight Classic show, 205 Live, you didn't compete for the title. So it just meant it was basically its own brand. And it's like, should be that everyone could go for it. So yeah, very frustrating. I think Ricochet was a big waste of talent. And you could say he's not the most captivating, but give him a manager. Give him Zelina. There's always stuff you can do. But we don't need to worry about the people that we don't have when we can focus on the people that we do. And there is an attack. Wow, is that Izzy Dame? Izzy Dame, I believe, attacking here. Who's she attacking? Is it Carmen? Yeah. So it was Carmen. So she has attacked Carmen Petrovic. And the question is, what is her status? Triple threat match coming up tonight as well. Wesley, Joe Hendry, Pete Dunne. Last Tuesday. Kian, hello. I enjoyed the Unseen video. It cheered me up. You and Tommy made me laugh. The moment he called you the B word, said, he called me the what? Kian shouts, yeah, I do enjoy, I do enjoy the Wrestling Escape Pod. I mean, like, the fact we got 48 minutes in and I hadn't even thought about talking about what was on the thumbnail. I think it kind of shows the relaxed attitude that we have over there, but I so enjoy it. I think, like, we are able to find, like, some really fun moments. So I'm glad you enjoy it as well, but or had good fun this time. Okay, we are just seeing Chase U, of course, picked up the victory last week, and we just saw a video package of that. Now we have got Chase U. I think they're in the crowd. There's Duke Hudson. There is Thea Hale. She's coming down through the crowd as well. How's she going to get over that? Then we go into the entranceway where Ridge and Andre Chase come bursting through a banner wearing the belts. And obviously the belief is this is going to lead to a turn for Duke Hudson. Stephen, hello. Hope you are well, my friend. Who do we think is the next AEW star to come to WWE, said Jonathan. I'd be looking at Ricky Starks, to be honest. I think Ricky Starks, obviously there's big rumors about Daniel Garcia. There's rumors against Lucha Bros. But Ricky Starks, I mean, I just think he wants out. I don't know when his contract's up, but we know he's really close with Cody. Cody will be putting in great words about Ricky Starks, no doubt about that. And yeah, I could see him totally coming over. Okay, we got Chase U in the ring. Chase U. Chase U. I like the fact they won. I'm going to end this poll because it's too big on screen, isn't it? New students, new classroom, a new NXT Tag Team Champions. Thea says she is proud of Ridge. your passion, your desire, your intensity. It can be a little bit much at times, but it's exactly what we needed. So we got Riley, we got Ridge, we've got Duke, we've got Andre, we've got Thea. They're kind of standing in height order, which is fun. So they're thanking Ridge. And there's a big hug and a big loving. Okay, who's coming out now? Is this going to be Axiom and Nathan? Axiom and Nathan making their way out. Congrats on last week. We want to talk to you about something. Rematch. You was the better team that day, but I don't think you're the better team every day. It's quite interesting because I think Nathan Frazier and Thea Hale are in a relationship, and I did see a tweet from Duke Hudson saying, you lost in front of your family, which I took to mean, he sent it to Nathan, I took that to mean you lost in front of Thea. He may have had his other family over, his actual family. Boys. boys. I don't appreciate you interrupting a Chase You Roman. And there's Thea going, no, thumbs down. Thumbs down. I came to NXT to find myself. I was lost. Everyone turned their back on me. I don't mind Ridge and Chase You. Thea Hale rebuilt my confidence. Me. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. I do find Thea endlessly entertaining. Amy Jobson, shout out to you. I hope you are well. I acknowledge my tribal chief said Amethyst Pisces. I acknowledge Jacob Fatu. Last week was bigger than me, says Ridge. It was about bringing gold to Chase You. The mission statement. The mission statement is mission accomplished. Ridge is all brawn and no brains, says James. That's why he's got Chase. He's got Andre Chase with him. Okay, so they said if you can beat Duke and Riley, then you can get your title rematch. I don't mind that. Don't mind that. Because they'll probably fail, and that'll probably wind up Duke Hudson even more. We're always ready. They pull off the trousers. They've got their gear on. Look at that, dude. Look at the bum bag as well. We're always ready and Chase You. The trousers come off, and it looks like we're going to go to our first match. Booker T, Vic Joseph. Steven said, I enjoyed UFC last Saturday. I'm glad. Good show, wasn't it? Pretty fun. Tag team match coming up. Jada Parker got to get one over on Sol Ruka one of these times, said AB Jobson. Okay. Chase You against Axiom. And Nathan? He who has the gold make all the rules. Booker T is the new wise man. Fraxium. Here we go. Chase you against Fraxium at opening contest. Lovely. Rich being in Chase you is probably the best thing they could have done with him, said Brony. Yeah. Yeah. Things been good. Certainly if it's going to lead to Duke turning. Because we spoke a lot about, like... Did Riley just sort of throw himself over the top rope then? There was a drop kick. He went back against the rope and he sort of seemed to chuck himself over the top rope. To the outside goes Axiom. Here's Nathan. Nathan goes against the ropes. Oh, gets caught by Duke. Into the edge of the ring. Yeah, so we were talking about like some of the talent that's been called up that's not around anymore. It is time. Oh, that was lovely. That was great by Riley. It's time for Andre Chase to step up. It's time for Duke Hudson to step up. It's time for Tony D'Angelo to step up. These are people that have been in NXT long enough. They've been in NXT since 2.0 and they've all achieved stuff. But yeah, you look at someone like Duke Hudson. Definitely time. It's time to do the dance or get off the dance floor. Spartan said, Daze, can I use my Nokia brick for YouTube? Yes. Yes. It'll give your videos a very retro feel. Are you going to do Jake Paul, Mike Tyson? I would do it. I just really don't know if it's going to clash with anything. My priority is always going to be WWE. I'm just having a look at my schedule. Do we know when it is? Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is ready on the 15th of November. Just wait, please. 15th of November, that's a Friday. That's a Friday. Is that a Friday? Why would they do that on a Friday? November 15th. What time is it? Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, start time. Let's have a little look. Roy Jones, first round. Clash will take place on Friday. It'll be in Texas. Yeah, but what time, you douches? Is it on at the same time as SmackDown? Katie Taylor against Amanda Serrano. Oh, is that on the cards? Oh my god. Oh, we can't not watch SmackDown though, can we? If it's on at the same time as SmackDown. Is NXT 2 or 3 hours? It's 2 hours, Lawson. 2 hours. Stepping up, one thing, but if the booking ain't up to scratch, then it means nothing, says James. Yeah, well, is it on at the same time as SmackDown? I would have to have a... It says time to be announced. That's what I've got here. And I get all my information from the El Paso Times. Yeah? I don't know where you get your news from, but I get mine from the El Paso Times. And they're saying that the start time is to be announced, to be confirmed. It's just going to be on Friday. And actually, they've even botched that. Look at the El Paso Times. If we go here, I'll show you. Here. It says here, Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, date Friday, November 15th, time TBA. And then the next line said Jake Paul's fight against Mike Tyson will take place on Saturday, November 5th. In the space of just a couple of sentences, they've managed to botch. It's Friday, November 15th. Then it's Saturday, November 15th. Do you see what I'm up against? Do you see the confusion that I'm up against? Jeez. So, yes, I would love to cover it, but, I mean, we might be watching SmackDown. I mean, I don't know how I would do that. I really don't. Hopefully the fight would be on after SmackDown, and maybe we do the fight straight after it. I don't know. I'd imagine it would be on after SmackDown, but I get my news from the El Paso Times, and they can't tell me anything. They don't even know what day the November 15th is. They're still trying to work that one out. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. I've put it into my calendar. Lovely. King Yeti, shout out to you, my friends. Oh, King Yeti, that's so supportive and it's so appreciated. Gifting memberships, I think, is such a kind thing to do because we're really looking at trying to launch. Well, we've definitely got this week Hall of Fame, Community Hall of Fame nominations. We've got a watch along thing that's going to be starting up. I'm really looking for another watch. We'll definitely do one. Whether it'll be the first Raw, I'm not 100% yet, but we'll definitely do one. And obviously we've got our member stream as well. So I mean, there's things going on when it comes to the member side, and so to allow people to be a part of that, I think is so kind. So, King Yeti, so appreciated. And I know that whoever has claimed those is going to be massively appreciative as well. So, King Yeti, shout out to you, my friends. A goated move. Helping the community. Helping the channel. Ticking all the boxes. So, really appreciated, buds. As we've got Duke Hudson getting chucked down. We've got DDT. Oh, no joy. Duck underneath there. Against the ropes goes Nathan. Wheelbarrow back into the corner. Tag there by Riley. Riley is going up. Riley looking for a... Is that like a inverted blockbuster? 1, 2. And Axiom makes the save. So we've been at commercial break, but we're back now. Yeah, I think that was like an inverted blockbuster. Pretty sick. Right now, we've got Riley climbing up, is perched up top. Not crazy about his ring gear. Landed on his feet there, went high risk, duck underneath. Goes on the rope, Spanish fly. Oh, mate, Spanish fly off the middle rope. That is nice. Duke Hudson makes the save. Spanish fly off the middle rope. Amazing. Yeah, looking at Riley's gear, the colour scheme's right, but the red is not the same kind of shades. My OCD would not deal with that very well. I don't really have much OCD, but things do need to be, you know... If the colour scheme is this shade of red and this colour like black or whatever, then stick to those. That's a different shade. Boom. Kick coming into the midsection. Riley is down. Nathan goes over the top, comes crashing down on Duke Hudson as Axiom makes the pin. And they get the win. James said, I hope that Motor City Machine Guns hurry up and show up. No mercy, hopefully. So, James, shout out to you. I don't know anything about Motor City Machine Guns, but I am willing to learn. Get them in, see what they can do. Okay, so Frazier and Axiom have picked up the victory. Get in your thoughts. What did you think about that match? It was a match that we weren't expecting, to be honest. Not a match that was announced in advance. It's a match that gets Fraxium a rematch. But, yeah, we weren't expecting that one. So all the things that we spoke about earlier We've still got all of that to come. I did see our poll earlier. 50-odd% of you said Sol Ruka was going to get the victory. We're backstage with Stevie Turner. Carmen's out. Put Stevie in. So, is he? Yeah, she... No. I'm not going to reward bad behavior. Good. Oh, Brinley Reese has gone in. Kalani is in the background. What's Kalani doing? Okay, Brinley is been added to the match now. And we're moving on to Wendy Chu. Here's Wendy Chu. She's so good at character work. I just wish the creative was better for her. So she's making her way down to the ring. There's a little smile that kind of comes across her face. Boom. Right, let's end this. Oh, we got 73 responses, so we'll end that. The original tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Okay, so goods, 94%. That was Chase U. Friday Night SmackDown. Lovely. Oh, King Yeti again. Dude, you can stop. You can stop. So kind. And look, there's some really awful people there that have benefited. Is this what you want to reward, King Yeti? Truly awful degenerates that are in the community. No, so appreciated, dude. I mean, it really is. And yeah, look, people firing in their thanks. Some people gutted at not getting them. Some people, what a legend King Yeti is, says, I am your father. And I am your father didn't even benefit. Didn't even benefit. A lot of the people that did benefit are staying quiet as well. What's this, eh? What's this? The Jimmy J acknowledges. Jimmy J acknowledges. I would expect a lot of thank yous being fired in King Yeti's direction. Very kind, my friends. It should have been me, said Spartan. Finley says King Yeti is a legend. Logan B says thank you, King Yeti. This is it. This is what we're looking for. James said I'm a degenerate. At least I'll admit it. That's true. You don't need. We already know. You don't need to. Raymond, shout out to you. I hope you're well, my friends. So yeah, King Yeti, thank you so much. So kind. The more people that we have on the members side, the more I feel we can achieve, the more we can do, the more feedback we get, the more, you know, if we do a watch along on the members side, the more people there will be to join us for them, you know. So that obviously then opens up more opportunity to do stuff. So it's, yeah, I need to get that going with the watch alongs. I really keep saying like, oh, should we start at the first episode of Raw? But I just don't know if that's what the appetite is. The problem is, I really think people struggle to find time for like big watch alongs. So I feel like they need to be smaller watch alongs, but still good and interesting. So if I could find a series of smaller watch alongs that we could do, I'd be down for that. on a weekly basis on the members side. But I just don't know that Raw. I mean, Raw's like 50 minutes, the early Raws. You could work your way through 1993, but is that why people wanna? Is that what people want to do? Go through all the early Raws? I don't know. I don't know. Daze, how about some FC dub? I'd love it. I'd definitely watch that, but I just don't know that that's what the appetite is for. I did do a what would you like to watch, and obviously you get a lot of pay-per-view suggestions, which is not a problem. I'll happily do like pay-per-views, but we did a pay-per-view. We did Money in the Bank, and you know, I think like there was not a great percentage of people that joined us. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'll mull it over, but I'll happily take suggestions in the next member stream. Okay, we are back to the action, but King Yeti, you're a goat. Jordan said, I've sent you an update on Ricky Starks. Thank you, Jordan. What's the summary? Ren QCC. She's renamed it. Okay, Lola is making her way down, so we're going to move on to match number 2. This is Wendy against Lola. Lola Vice. In honor of our new tribal chief, we could do some of Roman's best matches. Do you know, it's funny you should say that, because I was really thinking about doing matches, because you can just go into the network and just search for matches, and matches, you know, if they're big matches, they can go for 20, 30 minutes, which is a comfortable, easy thing, I think, for people to commit to. You could work your way through Bray, you could work your way through Roman, you could really work your way through some key matches rather than watching whole shows. But I don't know, that seems a bit strange, doesn't it? Kind of just doing matches rather than shows. We're going to watch the main event of WrestleMania 19. We're going to watch Bray Wyatt's debut. I suppose that's not bad, though. We're going to watch Bray Wyatt's debut match. We're going to watch, you know, the Wyatts against the Shields. There could be something in that. I think it's quite easy to find on the network. It just feels a bit weird, doesn't it? It feels a bit strange. I'm so used to doing full shows rather than just odd matches. Something to chew over. Oh my God. Tell you what, Wendy just had something to chew over. She got a kick in the midsection there. That was pretty brutal. Roll up. Lola is down. Wendy is around the back. She's got a sleeper hold applied here. Or at least trying to. Yeah, Lola in all kinds of trouble as Wendy was able to take the back of Lola. Something you shouldn't really be able to do against like an MMA fighter. They really tried to defend their backs. But Wendy was able to get round the back there. Right now we're back on the feet though. Lola with Wendy, knee to the midsection. And again, lovely Muay Thai. She's got her on the back. Boom, boom. Just throwing in these big knees. Kick to the back. Down goes Wendy. Lola battling away. This is a real battle for Wendy here. Big power slam there by Lola. And she gives a little bit of the old shimmy, shimmy. Lola shimmying away in the ring. Oh, hello. Adverts. Kim says, as a member, I acknowledge Daze as my tribal chief. Followed Marco Silva. Kim Strange, shout out to you. Jimmy J said WWE Vault was doing some CM Punk match marathons today. Yeah, actually, that's an interesting thought about like match marathons, like a series of like a playlist. That's the word I was after. You could do like something along those lines. That'd be pretty fun. That'd be pretty fun. So we'll mull it over. We'll find the answers. AB Jobson said, right now, Lola, Roxanne, Jada, and Soul have the best chance on the main roster. Miss Clown, I hope you're well. Miss Clown, I hope life is treating you well. We've got Lola Vice against Wendy Chu. Wendy Chu. Get yourself a lovely pair of Wendy shoes. Daze, do a watch along for what happened this day in WWE history. What do you mean, like go back, see if we can... I mean, that's might be a bit tricky on like a Thursday or whatever. I don't know. Sometimes there's been like SmackDowns that have been on Thursdays, of course. I'm sure there was something that's happened on... I mean... We've had NXTs on Wednesdays and Tuesdays. Raw's obviously been on Mondays. We've had SmackDowns on Friday, Thursday. There's been pay-per-views on Saturdays. And so I think we have boxed off every day of the week, actually, thinking about it. So there probably is something that's happened every day. So yeah, you're probably right. It probably could be done. For footy's sake, said, here's a thought. How about a vote for matches and you just keep a record of ratings? We could apply a list of the communities, 20 matches of all time, and do a watch along. How about we vote for matches, keep a records of ratings? So what, like, we ask people to vote for their favorite matches and then we watch whatever comes in as the top 20. Yeah, could vibe with that. I suppose it just comes down to if people want to be searching for matches, if they want to go to the network, and I'd have to have a look, see how easy it is to find. The problem I've got as well is that I've got the network and a lot of you in America have got Peacock, and I don't know how easy it's going to be for you to find things on Peacock. I don't know. I would imagine it's fine, to be honest. I'd imagine it's not much different, but I can't see what you can see in America. I've still got the WWE network, which is great, to be honest. So, yeah, I like it. I think it should be fine. That should be possible. I'd have to try a few and see how easy it is to find them. I mean, you can always go to the event, click in the top corner, find the match, but you want it to be as simple as possible, really, don't you? Right, we are at commercial break, by the way. I know there's a lot of commercials. Lawson said, I'm not a member, but what you're doing is epic, says Lawson. Thank you, Lawson. I appreciate the kind words, buds. We are just doing our best. Right, we've got Lola over by the ropes, and Wendy is in control. So we've come back from the commercial break. William said, yes, I can pee out of my penis. How does that help with me watching wrestling, says William. It helps. It just helps. Just know that it helps, William. Everything you do just helps. Just keep being you. The world is a better place with you being you. We've got Lola in the corner. We got shots in the midsection. Is Connor actually ever fighting again, said Spartan. Apparently so. He wants the fight later this year. I think there was something that came out that said he wasn't going to fight this year, and he responded online saying, nah, it's got to be, my team want it to be December, I think. Make it happen, UFC. So he was very vocal about wanting to fight and fight later this year. He wants the fight this year. According to social media, Conor McGregor. Behind closed doors, Conor McGregor might be a different thing. A kick to the midsection there by Lola. Another kick coming in, but a kick coming back there by Wendy. Wendy with Lola working on the arm. What are we going for here? Shot to the back. Suplex. No, inside. Small package. 1, 2. Kick out. Kick out. That was another big boot there by Wendy. Lola went down. Wendy coming over, grabbing Lola. Lola struggling here against Wendy. Smashing her face first down in the corner. Wendy grabbing Lola, putting her in the corner. She's got her foot right in the throat of Lola. Referee counting away there. Lola struggling. Lola's over against the ropes. Working on the arm. Shot to the midsection. Big shots coming in. Kick coming back there by Wendy. Looking for a net breaker. Lovely work. Net breaker by Wendy. Going for the cover. 1, one. Wendy is the Natalia of NXT with a shiz gimmick, says AB Jobson. Dana said it'll be next year, said Miss Clown. What if the guides turn on you, said Spartan? What, the girl guides? The ones that sell cookies? What if they do turn on us? What if it turns out those cookies have actually had poison in for years? Slow releasing poison. They're actually killing people without us even knowing. That could be a pretty sick horror film, couldn't it? Coming this November. Guides. That would be pretty good. Baking cookies with like poison in, taking them around old people's homes. All of a sudden, old people start dying, and you've got this sick, murderous child. Oh, mate, write that. Someone write that script. That'd be sick. That'd be sick. Starring Wendy Chu as the girl guide. Imagine Wendy Chu as a girl guide with all the badges. Right, we've got Lola in the corner. We got Wendy charging over. Lola moves out the way, rolls up Wendy. Boom, kick out. Up on her feet. Oh, mates. Love those kicks from... Yeah, they look great. They look so good by Lola. Wendy goes down. Lola. God, it's like playing a video game. Chun-Li. We're Chun-Liing with our kicks. I wonder if she can do the spinning bird kick. Spinning bird kick. Oh, a little bit of that charging in. Boom! Oh, mates. Wendy Chu was right in there. 1, 2. Oh, shoulder up. Yeah, I tell you what, this match is going for a while. Honestly, Wendy Chu almost got sucked up. Lola rammed her derriere into Wendy's face. And I think we lost Wendy for a second. She goes looking for a sleeper. She's jumped on the back. She's given up her back again, you know. 2 watch-alongs for WCW. I don't know, how long do you reckon we'd survive that? How far do you reckon we'd get before we all just quit watching wrestling? I can just imagine people crying like, I don't like wrestling anymore. Oh, here's Kalani Jordan. What's this she's got in the ring? Oh, spinning back fists. Kalani went down. Well, what's she doing getting in the ring? A pillow. That pillow better have some sort of brick in it. First of all, if you're going to play on railway tracks, don't be surprised if you get hit by a train. So Kalani Jordan, you're going to have to deal with the fallout of that yourself. Second of all, there better be a brick in that pillow, because she just walloped her with a pillow and knocked out Lola. Is this where she's going to reveal? There's got to be something in there, hasn't there? There's got to be. I don't think we're knocking out highly trained professional wrestlers with pillows. You want to steal my championship? Oh, is the championship in there? I didn't know that she'd... I didn't realise she'd stolen the belt. It must be in the pillow. Here we go. Boom, and she wallops her with it. She goes down. Imagine if the swerve is it's not in there. the swerve is the championship's not in there. It was nothing but feathers. There we go. Kalani has got her belt back. I didn't even realise she was missing it. But she's got her belt back. She's got Goldie back. That's a nice shirt, isn't it? That's a fun shirt for a heel. Well, I suppose it's got a skull and a snake and money on it. I mean, but... Pete Dunne, brilliant technician in the ring, but it's not really going to work out for him. social media sensation that's only here for the NXT rub. Talking about Joe Hendry. It's my time, says Wes. I don't think he's going to win it, but I think it'll be Joe Hendry that does. Here's Joe Hendry. Can Wes hear this? Unfortunately, I can. I want to thank you for the extra motivation for calling TNA clowns. Stop. The pinnacle of your career will not even get close to the bottom of mine. All that stands between me and an NXT title shot is 2 world-class athletes. Okay, so Joe Hendry said he'll become the #1 contender. That match, I'm guessing our main event, because coming up next, it's the Gauntlet match with no Carmen. It is Brindley. Brindley's got a chance. Tony says, after Jinder and AEW's Satnam Singh won the tag titles in another nation, would we see Jinder getting back to WWE to win his second WWE title? I mean, he could come back, but I don't see him coming back and becoming a world champion. I didn't even know he'd gone and won tag titles in some other country. James said it's ironic Wes calling TNA clowns. If it wasn't for TNA, no one would know who he was, and he wouldn't be in NXT without TNA, says James. I'm sure that irony is not really lost on him. But that has fired up Joe Hendry even more so. I saw Jordan Grace calling people that lay into TNA and badmouth TNA-cysts, which I thought was quite fun. Not racists, TNA-cysts. She was. Who was she calling a TNA? It might have been Wesley, actually. Big Time said, are we ready to have a conversation about how Joe Hendry's hype has died down? He's had his 2-3 month viral moment. Well, I don't know, to be honest, because WWE are behind him, aren't they? And he's still getting big pops like there. I don't know what the reaction is like on the internet. I don't know how that's measured. Let's put it that way. I don't know what stats would we have to kind of back up that decline. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying I don't know. We need to score that match as well. I need the match scores. I'd love to see Joe Hendry win, says Joe Shipley. Well, of course you would, because you share a same first name. Joes stick together, don't they? We know that about Joes. I'm always happy to die on a TNA hill, says James. Amethyst says Joe Hendry is boring. Give me Roman Reigns. Kian said WWE is behind him, so is the audience. Spartan said, Daze, what if we watch the WWE Vault videos, like old Wyatt family videos? We could do that. We could do that. That's kind of interesting. They're easy to find, aren't they? I don't mind that, actually. In my head, I always think that we have to watch some on the network, but that's just not true. And actually, there's plenty of full matches that you can watch on WWE YouTube. I do think that it's difficult to I think if I was to do a poll and ask people what would you like to watch on the members side, I think the answer would be a pay-per-view, a premium live event. But I think when push comes to shove, if people can actually find 3 hours, whatever, to actually sit down and do it, I think it's difficult. That's my honest feeling. I think people will find it difficult to commit to that. I think something that's around that kind of hour mark that we can agree on each week, and we have a bit of a schedule, whatever, and we know what's coming up, we know what we're watching, we know where to find it. I can easily put a post out that's got links as well, so you don't even need to look, you just click the link, and it'll take you to the match in question that we're going to watch. I can do that, that's no problem. So I think there probably is something in that, you know, about like looking at the full matches that get uploaded on WWE YouTube and WWE Vault. It's just finding the right ones, isn't it? Bray ones, Roman ones, you know, classic Undertaker ones. That could be really fun. I feel like we're getting closer now to what I think would probably best work. So yeah, good. Like it. Daze, I tagged you in a tweet that is fascinating. It's regarding Nelson tracking, where people are consuming content like cable or broadcast or stuff like that. Okay, I would like to read that. I like to have knowledge of what's going on. That's... Oh, look at you. Look at you following out Nielsen on Twitter. I would never, ever think to follow this account. This is the official Nielsen rating account. Should we have a little look, see what we're dealing with? What's this? So, new streaming has hit an all-time high with 41.1% of TV and the Summer Olympics making a mark on broadcasting and streaming. So, what are we looking at? So, 10% of people view their content on YouTube, which is the most. Netflix 8.4, Amazon Prime 3.4, Hulu 2.7, Disney 2.1, Tubi 2.1, Roku 1.6, Max 1.5, Peacock 1.4, Paramount 1.1. I tell you, that is interesting because look how big of a share Netflix is at 8.4. Other streaming was 6%. So, yeah. So, you've got cable 26%, broadcast 20%, streaming 41%, and it breaks down like that. And what's other? What's other? What's the other? Nielsen's total TV and streaming snapshot for July. That is interesting. That is interesting. I'm going to retweet that, Ryder. I've retweeted that. Okay, this is the Gauntlet match, kids. Uh, 67 goods, 18, 11, and 2 goods. 98%. Here's Sol Ruka. Okay, when we do gauntlet matches, we just score the overall gauntlet match. I think I have done it as the individual matches, but can't be bothered doing that anymore. So, Sol, Ren, Brinley, who else is in this thing? Jada, The Riz, Kendall. That's the one I forgot. Okay, so it's Sol's gonna start. Oh my god, how's she meant to win from number 1? Sol versus Ren. This will be a good match, actually. Sol against Ren. This will be a good match. Sort of sucks for them both, but this will be a good little encounter. I would not have been shocked if this was the final 2. Okay, Ren getting back up to her feet. We've got Sol Ruka over the other sides. Friendly competition here as Ren comes forward and take over there by Sol. Sol or Jada is winning this. I'm going with Sol since she's a face, says Brony. Saw Hack Duggan said, do we think Mr. Kennedy will ever return? I can't say no, but I don't think so, to be honest. His star has really fallen. I mean, he used to be in NWA. I don't know that he is anymore. But, I mean, he was still wrestling and competing, and WWE didn't have any interest. And whenever we've done, like, Legends shows, you know, he's never been around. I don't quite know why that would change now. So I don't think so. But it would be nice if, like, he was involved in some way, like on one of those kind of... I miss those Legends shows, you know. I'd love Triple H to book a Raw throwback, Raw rewind, whatever you want to call it. Retro Raw. Old school Raw. I'd love for him to book one of those. Because before we used to just have like all the legends playing poker in the backstage area. I feel like Triple H would use them better. I think we'd get more out of the legends. And there's so many that you could have around. So many, you know, like Santino Marella could pop in. Mr. Kennedy could pop in. You know? Goldust if he's ever out of AEW. People want him to actually have his final run in WWE. I wonder if that'll ever happen. Oh, bow and arrow by Ren. She's got Soul really stretched back here. Look at that. Look at that. She has got her really contorted stomps on the back, tying up the legs, looking for another bow and arrow. Look at that, over the knees. Love that from Ren. Soul in a lot of trouble here. Oh, she goes into a pin, though, and Ren switched off for a second. Lovely. Matrix escape. Underneath goes Ren. Boom. Face first into the mats. So, Soul is down. Ren is down. Hello, what's going on? What's this? We've got someone else that's coming down. Oh, the Riz! Rizzo has come down with a big crossbody. Down goes Soul. Down goes Ren. Oh, this is a bit quirky, isn't it? Normally you have to pin the person and then the next team come down or the next person comes down. Now we're doing it. We're doing it like Rumble style. Oh, I love that. That kip up is clean, man. That kip up is clean. She kips up and sort of spins and lands on her knee. The Riz coming in like a little bottle rocket. Look at the Riz go, man. I tell you what, if you want a little tip, get that footage of Riz doing a kip up, put it on your Twitter, and just put like, Riz's kip up is cold. Put the cold face emoji. I reckon that would do well if you do hashtag WWE NXT. People love that stuff. Those quirky little moments where there's like a sick move. That was sick. That kip up was sick. Boom, over the top, Soul goes down, and another kip up, but this one was not as innovative. Oof. One. No joy. Ren goes to the outsides. Amethyst pieces, shout out to you, my friends. Underneath, swinging. Net breaker there by the Riz. Come on, the Riz. Come on, the Riz. Boom, kick coming in. Double knees there by Soul. I think the Riz is such a good name as well because, like, the kids, oh man, big power bomb to the Riz is done. But Riz is like what the kids are calling charisma now, innit? I feel like she needs a lot of charisma if you're going to be the Riz. Because the kids all think you're like the queen of Riz. The charisma queen. Netflix today touted the success of their new advertising strategy as advertisers are flocking to them. They even mentioned Raw being a helper to the success. I wonder if Elon being quite negative for advertisers. I wonder if that has also helped increase Netflix's increase. You know, if X is going down with the amount of companies that are willing to give Elon money, do they go to Netflix instead? That would be interesting. Kian, shout out to you. Alkaline said Cora Jade has got this. She's not in this. She's not in this. She can't have it. I don't know what we're looking at here, but I like it. Oh, this is awesome. All about Intercontinental Champions. Relive some of the best Intercontinental Championship matches. I just heard Vince's voice, which was quite jarring. Right. Sonny, that is really interesting. I'm religious, so it's cool to hear of your connection. Hello, Mitchell. Mitchell, Triple T asked me to pass a message on to you, which is that he will be streaming tomorrow. And that the announcement was that he will be streaming when he can. And that it was my fault for not making a bigger deal of that last week. And he said, make sure Mitchell knows. And I said, is Mitchell even here? And he went, no. So I was like, I'll tell him. So this is me officially telling you. Just a man of my words, aren't I, eh? Lawson said, I'm just curious, is there much UK in here, or is it all American? It's UK for me. I'd say there's a mixture. There's a mixture. There's a few people in from the UK. There's a lot of people in from the US. I think we've got the odd Canadian that stumbles by. Actually, don't know. Have we got anyone outside of that? Have we got... I think sometimes we have Germany. Obviously Scotland. So, yeah, UK. Netherlands, I've seen. We have had Africa. We had Africa during UFC. I don't know about tonight. Anyone outside of UK, Canada, or America? That would be good. Dave, UK. Well, you're boring, Dave. UK, that's boring. Finley, UK, boring. I was watching spooky movies with my girlfriend today. We had a movie day. Oh, was she having to look after you? Don't worry, Mitchell. It'll be okay. Romania. Ah, hello, Romania. Shout out to you. Morning, Tuesday. Morning, Romania. Acknowledged. Brian said, I'm in the Isle of Man. Look at you with your sexy, weird, three-legged flag. Isle of Man. Hang on. Isn't that UK? Isn't that UK? Brian, isn't that UK? England, boring. Wales, boring. Lawson said, I saw a Brazilian. Well, you're having a great day then. Oh my God, mate. You're having a fantastic day. Well done. Well done. Right, here's Kendall. Kendall is making her way down. So we've got Brinley in there. We've got Kendall in there. We've got Sol Ruka in there. We've got Ren in there. The only person that's been eliminated so far is The Riz. Kim Strains is from Saturn. Stevie Boy from Australia. Stevie Boy, shout out to you. Henno is from Germany, but I live in Spain. That's fine. I double-checked, and both of those are outside of the UK. So, King Yeti says, I'm from America. Shout out to you, my friends. But yeah, look at that. We've got, well, I'm classing it as Spain. I'm going to class it as Spain. De Henro. I've gone with Spain there. Isle of Man, but I don't know if it counts. Romania, though. I can go with that. India, said Nikki. India in the house. Let's go. Oh, near fall. So yeah, I think we've got people all over the place here. Okay, Kendall is up. She has got her legs. Oh, look at that. Taking down both Soul and Ren. Going over against the ropes. Oh, she just got stuck as she tried to springboard off that middle rope there, Kendall. She did just get a little bit stuck. It happens. We saw Kyrie get a little bit botchy, or struggle, I should say. You know, these things happen. So, Kendall. So, I think, did Brindley get eliminated? Not seen Brindley around. Boom. We're just seeing the 3 girls at the moment. Sol Ruka. Surfboards. She's got Kendall down. Yeah. Arms come back now. She's going to pull her back. Oh, surfboard stretch. Surfboard stretch. I mean, that makes so much sense for Sol Ruka to have that in her arsenal. So there we go. Surfboard stretch being applied to Kendall. She's trying to power her way out of this, Kendall. Oh, but here comes Ren. Boom. Bulldog down. Going for the cover 2. Oh, kick out by Kendall. Kick out by Kendall. Over, lands on her feet. Boom. Face first goes Ren. Ren goes to the outside. Again, we've got Kendall coming over. She's on the shoulders of Sol. Sol picks her up, chucks her to the outside. She lands on top of Ren. And now we've got our next person, Jada, maybe? I'm trying to think who else is left. I think there's only Jada left. I think Brindley got eliminated. I didn't even see. Final entry. Here's Jada throwing Sol over the barricades. The dude in the front row was like, jeez. Jada's come out. Woof. Grabbing a hold of Kendall. Kendall lands on her feet, though. Yeah. 1, 2. No, Jada survives. Gets caught, crossbody, roll through, picks her up, picks her up, picks her up. Jada, look at the power. Boom, drives Kendall into the corner. Ah, big chop to the midsection. Jada goes up, comes crashing down. Yes, let's go, man. Let's go. Jada with a real breath of fresh air here. 1, 2, 3. Gets rid of Kendall. King Yeti again. King Yeti said there are people from London, Paris, Tokyo, America, Scotland, Canada, Mexico. Oh, Sol Ruka with the Soul Snatcher gets Ren eliminated. Look at this. Are we just down to these 2? Soul against Jada. It's got to be Soul, innit? It's got to be Soul. Surely it's Soul. Surely it's Soul. Picks her up, lands on her feet. Jada helping Soul to the outside. Kick coming in. This is a better way of doing the gauntlet, in my opinion. It's fairer. I think it's fairer. Oh. Yeah, it was a Falcon Arrow, but it felt very similar to a cutter. I would not have been shocked if she had, like, kind of stunned her in a way. 1, 2, inside cradle. Crowd are making some noise now. Kick to the midsection by Jada. This is good. This is cooking. Oh, she comes crashing down. That was botchy. That was botchy, and she's on the ropes. Referee won't count the 3 as a result. He's checking on Jada. Jada seemed to be in a bit of pain there. Referee just checking on her as Sol goes over to the corner. This match is going to continue. Oh, I tell you what, she just cartwheeled, but Jada had moved out the way. The communication's a little bit off, but into a suplex there. Man, I like Sol going for stuff though, and it not coming off. I like seeing that. She did this cartwheel on the top rope, and like Jada had moved out the way. I really don't mind that at all. Jada, 1, 2, 3. Wow! Jada wins. Wow! I'm stunned. Jada is, I think, a heel. I mean, she's got a lot of sass. She'll be a real challenge for Roxanne. Wow, Roxanne against Jada. I mean, look, Roxanne retains. It's a great opportunity for Jada. It's not really your traditional booking. I mean, felt really good that Sol was going to get that, to be honest. I could see Roxanne winning that, and then I think we're all expecting Julia to arrive. I mean, that show is, I think, where we get Julia. I don't know that we get Stephanie Vacour as well. We will eventually, but I don't know that she'll be on that show. She might be shown in the crowds, but I could see Julia come walking out after the match. But there we go, Jada. Not a bad match, that. Not a bad match. Jada is in the ring with... Is that Sarah Schreiber? Baby, I am hyped. Jada Parker is a difference maker. Jada Parker got next. You might be a great champion, but Jada Parker got next. Jada Parker's a really interesting prospect, isn't she? She's a really interesting prospect. Roxanne Perez gives a shrug, walks away. She does not seem bothered. I'm not bothered, mate. So yeah, King Yeti, shout out to you. Look at all these responses. You can respond to Super Chats now. Reply to King Yeti. This must be a new feature. Mitchell says, I believe in Joe Hendry. William said, C Days, I know how to comment on someone's Super Chat. Hey, King Yeti. Wrestle Proud said, haha, I knew it. Days didn't seem to get it. No, I got it. I just had to jump back into the match. I am your father. Hello. William Hensey says, Mitchell is too afraid to use someone else's super chat to highlight his own comment. Poor Boy Scout Mitchell. Oh, well, I just said hello and it won't do it for me. Ah, what the flip? Right, here's Hank and Tank. Right, we're past the halfway point. Ah, it's gonna... Ah. Right, here's Hank and Tank then. Get in your scores for that last one. Days, I recently upped my Netflix subscription just so I can get a feel as to what Raw's gonna look like. It's insane how they're gonna fit a whole network archive. Oh, I think it'll just get its whole separate section, won't it? I think it'll just be like you click on the WWE section and then boom, it's just all there. Brony said, I could see Jada, Sol, Roxanne and Cora being successful on the main roster. Spartan said it's a scam. Charles said, Jada's hip attack is devastating. Time for Hank and Tank, but that's all right. Hank and Tank was the one I was least excited for, but to be honest, I thought we just ate quite well. You know, a little off in places, but I think it's... Well, let's see. I was going to say, is it the best match we've seen so far? There was some really good stuff in there. Chase U against Fraxium was pretty fun in places as well, though. Isn't it? We'll see. Get your thoughts in. Days, who will be the last one remaining in NXT that was in 2.0? Trying to think of everyone that was in 2.0. Lash Legend. Who gets called up first, Lash Legend or Duke Hudson? I think Tony gets called up. I don't think he's that far away. I think Lash Legend has still got a way to go. You could maybe make the argument that Jakara Jackson's got even further, though. Was Jakara Jackson 2.0, or did she join that little bit later? Andre Chase, I think, will be fine. Duke Hudson, I think, with the story they're doing, he'll be fine. But I think the Noam Dar injury has sort of slowed down Metaphor's progression. So, yeah, I'm probably looking in that direction. Lash Legend said Kader. Lash says James. AB Jobson said this match feels like a rumble. People come in, do their moves, and then it's someone else's turn. Depends if they want to bring up Metaphor or Chase You, says James. I'm not sure that Metaphor has much of a future personally, but then, you know, it's hard, isn't it? Because they're not really doing anything at the moment. You got Oro Mensah off doing his own thing. You got Noam Dar injured. You know, when he was doing his Supernova sessions and all of that, I thought that was fun. I think Metaphor as a vehicle for Noam Dar is good. You know, Noam Dar is a good talker. Him having his own chat show, I think, is good. So if he got called up and they decided to bring the others with him as, like, support, yeah, you could sort of see them doing that. But I don't know that you bring up Metaphor as an actual bona fide... But as a vehicle for Noam Dar, maybe. No, I think Noam Dar's really interesting. I think he's really interesting because he's all right in ring. He doesn't blow my mind. You know, I can't sit here and reel off a load of 5-star matches. But again, I go back to what I said before. Does he tick the box? I think he does. I don't watch his matches and think they stink the place out. Like, and he's fine. You know, you can put him in there with different people, different styles, different match types. He'll hold up his end. But it's with the microphone that I think he really shines. I think he's a really good talker. I think he's got a really fun personality. I so enjoyed him with Shah Samuels. I watched quite a few of their Supernova sessions, and they were really fun in NXT UK. I was really sad when Shah Samuels got let go by WWE. I thought he was great with Noam Dar. I actually think you could do something slightly different for Noam Dar than Metaphor, and it might be better. But yeah, he's an interesting one, Noam Dar. I do like him. He's fun. How are we thinking about NXT going to C-Dub? I really hope they start. So much buzz around the product. It does feel a little cold. Well, I think it feels a little better, actually, at the moment, NXT. There have been some NXTs this year that have not been easy for me. I think this has been a real hot and cold year for NXT. And, you know, I'm going to say what I always say, and that is that if we look at the community scores, some of the lowest ranked shows of the year are NXT shows. But I've actually thought this has been a really good episode so far. I mean, Wendy Chu Lola, I thought, was pretty fun. Chase U Axiom and Nathan was pretty fun. The Gauntlet match, I thought, was pretty fun. This is a match which I was not that bothered by. But, no, honestly, I mean, considering we've only got about 45 minutes left to go, I think this has been perfectly acceptable. I think it's been all right. So, obviously, when we make that move, we're going to have some stars involved. We already know about CM Punk and Randy. And they've got plans because we know that Shawn Michaels doesn't want to really reveal anything about those plans, but he did say there'll be more surprises than that. So yeah, they're going on the road for those two shows, and I think they'll look to go on the road a little bit more, but they have said that the majority of shows will be coming from the PC. But again, it's a balance, isn't it? Because it is developmental. So you can fill it with main roster stars and have big names coming down. But at the end of the day, you do need to be giving Rizzo and Kendall and Ren and Soul and Jada and Wendy and Riley. Like, you are going to have to use those guys. This is developmental. And that is always the challenge, really. Is how do you balance developing the stars of tomorrow with putting on a product that's going to bring in as many viewers as possible, you know? Hank and Tank are in control. So I can tell you that the Gauntlet match ended with good 95%, which feels a bit harsh, to be honest. Feels a little bit harsh. But because it means that it was actually just behind the first match, but not by much, only by a few percentage points. Here we've got Gallows with a big boots. Big Time said, I'm just hoping for a boost in the men's division. I miss when we had Carmelo and Ilya and sampling developmental talent. Well, we will get that boost. I mean, you're going to have CM Punk. You're going to have Randy. So, I mean, you'll get that boost. And we've just gone and signed 3 big women. Like, we've gone and signed Julia, Stephanie, Delta. So, they're clearly looking to see what stars are out there, what opportunities are out there. So, I would not be shocked to see them go out and sign, you know. I don't know why they've not gone and got Michael Oku. He has had great buzz in the UK. He had a banging match with Ospreay before Ospreay left to go and... Well, I don't even know if he had joined Tony by that point, but I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what the situation was. I don't know if they tried. But Oku from Great Britain, the UK, I mean, he's quite an exciting talent. I have heard AEW may have snapped him up and he may be making an appearance at Wembley. Don't know who you could get over in Japan. Japanese wrestlers don't really do all that well in WWE. The language barrier is a massive problem. If they could speak English, that's a big help. Massive help. So, I don't know. I don't know who you could go and get. Obviously, they're looking at Joe Hendry and they're looking at TNA and they're looking to see what buzz there is there. Joe Hendry, they've really got behind. Indie scene, I really don't know who's coming through. Indie scene seems so quiet at the moment. I'm sure there's great like wrestlers that are out there, but seems like WWE are more happy to do the tryouts and get athletes and build their own stars rather than pull from the indie scene. Maybe this is part of the problem of like Ring of Honor being in the hands of AEW. Because we can't use that as a feeding ground. And we can't use Evolve as a feeding ground. Because it doesn't exist anymore. And actually, I think the pandemic wiped out a few companies, unfortunately. Here's Anderson. He is up. Hank and Tank are going to work together. Boom! Colliding into Anderson. And they get the win. Hank and Tank get the win. Oh my god. Hank and Tank beat Gallows and Anderson. How far can Gallows and Anderson fall? Is it even possible to fall any further? Have they actually now hit rock bottom? Is this what rock bottom looks like for Gallows and Anderson? So there we go. Hank and Tank are celebrating with Vic Joseph. Okay, they're going to jump outside the ring. We got a load of security guards. Hank and Tank are celebrating. The security guards are standing in the way. And there we go. That's it. We go backstage. Here's. Here's Sean Spears. Here's Anofi and Blade. So it looks like they're going to be taking on Spears and Brooks. Brooks might not see through you, but we do. We're just protecting a friend. What, like the friend you were to Brinley? Getting really upset there about Brinley. Has Brinley gone her separate ways, has she? There's a big brawl that's broken out here. Anofi and Blade are beating up. The camera's gone down. Is the cameraman down? Who was holding the camera? Someone's picking up the camera now. Here's some referees. So Anofi and Blade have absolutely destroyed Shawn Spears. He's laughing his head off. Here's Brooks. Well, that was kind of interesting. I don't know what happened to the cameraman. I don't know who was holding the camera. Next thing we know, it's on the floor sideways, and that was kind of done well, though. No effing way they had the bums win, says James. This is it. This is the bottom of the barrel. This is what the bottom looks like for Gallows and Anderson. We wondered if they could be in a group with AJ Styles and taking on the Bloodline and all that kind of stuff. Here they are losing in NXT to Hank and Tank. Wonder how easy it was to sit them down and tell them what the plans are. Daze, why have WWE always struggled with booking Gallows and Anderson? Bishop, I would love the answer to that myself, mate. I would love the answer to that myself. Certainly when it feels so easy. Feels so easy. It feels like you give them beers. You have them backstage. You have them like an APA. And you kind of have them playing cards and being like old school boys in the locker room. Just laying out beatings and, like, you know, doing whatever. And you kind of present them in that way. And if AJ needs help, they're there. You know, they're there for him. And, you know, don't go with... I think the name, the OC, is one of the worst things that they've ever done. It's just a horrible group name. It's horrible. If you think that these guys were the Bullet Club... They were the Bullet Club. I mean, that sounds cool. Bullets are cool. And so are clubs. Little chocolate bars. But, yeah, you know, Bullet Club is just a cool name, and the shirts were so cool, and they sold so many. And then WWE bring them in as the OC, which is short for the original club. And you go, what? What are you on about? You've took out the cool word, which was bullet. You know, and like you've switched it with the word original. Like for me, and then like just calling them OC. Plus, there was a TV show, The OC, as I've said so many times. Like it always makes me think of that. Like it's just nothing cool about that name. So I just think the name was wrong. I just think everything about it was wrong. How you can't book them, I just don't know. I can only think you just don't care. That's what it must be. It must be that there's always others that they focus on more. Shawn and Jensen against Malik and Anofi next week, I'm guessing, said AB Jobson. I think you're right. Tony said, what happened to Tegan Knox? Maybe Mike Knox as a manager. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's not creative or lack of creative. That's a tricky one, Tegan. It could just be that they're just waiting for the right story to come through. I think the perception of Tegan is pretty low amongst fans. I think she's seen as injury prone, someone that tries but falls short, and you really do need a big creative to kind of turn that around. And I just don't think they've... Again, maybe it's the Gallows and Anderson situation. Maybe it's not about Tegan. It's more about there's just always others for us to tell stories with. You know, we're always looking for something for Jade. We're always looking for something for Bianca. We're always looking for something for Damage Control, Dakota, Lyra. You know, the girls keep coming up from NXT, and, you know, your Xia Lee's just run out of roads. There's only so much TV time. And maybe Tegan finds herself in that situation where she's just run out of road. You know, pretty soon there's going to be Roxanne on the main roster. There's going to be Cora on the main roster. Julia's on the way. You know, Jada might be coming up, and you just find yourself getting pushed back, don't you? Ava Raine, this past weekend, she went to see Slipknot. There she is, the general manager, having a lovely time meeting Slipknot. Meet them on their 25th anniversary tour. Okay, there is the Heritage Cup. Back in the arms of No Catch Crew. Is Ren. Look, Ren with a smile on her face, but you can tell she's disappointed. Which is super sad. Let's end this poll, shall we? As we are about to hear from Charlie Dempsey. What starts from AEW would be the most crucial loss for them, such as Kenny, Mox, Hangman? What star from AEW would be the most crucial loss for them? Probably MJF, I would imagine. I think Kenny's injuries are a real problem. It keeps him out of action too much. Ospreay, I think, is quickly establishing himself, though. But at the moment, I still feel like it's probably MJF. Okay, so this is Ren cutting her teeth with a bit of a promo. I mean, she's getting so much opportunity, which is really good for her. She's getting to show off her acting. She's getting to show off her promos. She's just been in a gauntlet match. I'm really excited for when Tavian comes back. He's killing it in Japan. He's doing so good. So Ren steps in and interrupts. Any man, anytime. Charles doesn't care who it is. Well, he might do. He might do, because Obafemi is making his way out. Let's go, man. Mr. Dempsey. Obafemi is making his way down. I always love it when you've got people going anytime, anywhere, anyone. You just know someone juicy is about to come out, and here's Obafemi. Look at his shoes. Look at him. Yeah, man, the crowd are behind him. Obafemi in the ring. I've defended this title against so many strong competitors. I want to add a Heritage Cup champion to that list. So is he going after his Heritage Cup, or is Charlie going to get a shot? Perhaps both would be on the line. Here's Tony to confuse matters more. Here's the family to confuse matters more. Tony, I was completely expecting you. I'm sure you want to re-challenge. Lucky for you. I got my eyes on something else. Oh, yeah. Oh, Tony having a look at Obafemi. Oh, no way. I don't forget. And my family don't forget. Oh, hello. So the family have gone after No Catch Crew. That leaves, well, This is quite a development. Now we've got Oba and we've got Tony. Oba kicks Tony in the midsection. Well, this hasn't gone to plan for Tony. Although, boom! Look at that! Spinebuster by Tony! Wow! He just managed to pick up Oba. He grabs that North American championship. I thought he had made a real strategic error there, being left alone in the ring with Obafemi. But it's Tony that is standing over Obafemi. Look at the shocked faces in the background. Tell you what, people are a little bit split. Obafemi's got his supporters, but so does Tony, and that would be sick, man. I'd be down for that match. Oh, hello. Here's Ashanti. Ashanti. That was cool, said James. Feed Tony to Oba, said AB Jobson. Triple threat. Yeah, I'm not quite sure where we're heading with it, to be honest. They used to have a gimmick with this guy. Dion Lennox is his name. Ah! Javon! Here's Ren. Don't let anyone touch this. This cup represents proper wrestling. Why don't you take us for a pint and we'll teach you how to be a real wrestler? It's illegal, said Javon. Here's Cedric. Does Javon need his daddy to fight his battles? I do love the thought of Cedric being Javon's daddy. I do love that. Would that mean that Big Swole is his mommy? Let's go. Javon and Cedric as a team. Sign me up, said Brony. Tony would beat Oba, said K-pop lover. Mr. Meme, shout out to you, my friends. I am your father, said I still don't think Tony will dethrone Oba. The D'Angelo family is badass. The Jimmy J said that match would cook. Tell you what. Wasn't sure about the old Hank and Tank situation. But, yeah, I didn't mind the whole Tony Oba build. I didn't mind the whole Gallus thing there with Javon. That was pretty fun. Cedric does look like a daddy, said Big T. Oh, he does, actually. That was a funny segment, said Dominic the writer. Right. How long we got? We got 28 minutes left to go. 28 minutes. 28 minutes. And then we... well, there might be a little overrun. I need to have a look at getting an unseen done tonight as well. I'm a little bit behind on that, actually. I did look earlier. There wasn't loads of stuff that had gone down earlier, but I can see there's quite a few tweets that have been tagged in. Did you all see the horrible breakfast that Mercedes had? It's brought shame. Shame to the UK. I'll see if I can find it. Oh. Look at this. It's a flipping disgrace. Look at this. Mercedes, earlier today. Oh. I mean, the only thing I would say is that's a Weatherspoons, right? Which is a chain of pubs here in the UK. And that is the kind of food you'd get from a Weatherspoons. But it surely would come with beans. I can't imagine it not coming with beans. So did she say no beans, please? Did she deny the beans? Also, I'm pretty sure it would come with a sausage. So did she also say no sausage? I mean, I've been to Wetherspoons a lot of times. I have never had anything that looks... The food ain't great. It's cheap foods. Do you know what I mean? You go there for a cheap pint and just a cheap something to eat. So Wetherspoons is fine. I like Wetherspoons. Like, you'll get a burger, you'll get a cheap curry, you'll get some garlic bread, you'll get some chicken wings. You know, it's just cheap food. So this is a breakfast she's had, but there's key things missing here, which makes me think she didn't ask for them or told them to not put. 'Cause where's the beans? Where's the sausage? You know, if she'd have gone large breakfast, she'd be getting, I think, a couple of sausages, couple of rashers of bacon, the beans, black pudding. You can even have toast on the side. I feel like she's gone in and she's just ordered something really small. And then she's put this picture up and it looks awful. Even I look at that and I'm like, no, just no. That just looks, I feel sorry for her. It's a disgrace, but no. I can't have that as a representative. I could go down the road now and get, well, not right now, it's 2:30 in the morning, but fast forward about 4 or 5 hours when it opens, I could go to the pub down the road and have a lovely looking full English breakfast that would look nothing like this. But yet this is the image that goes around the world. Well, I say around the world. About 300,000 people have seen it. Here's Dion Lennox. But yeah, she's right. She is right to say, oh. But then if you're going to order something small and have key items missing, I'm getting angry thinking about it, to be honest. It's a disgrace. It's a flipping disgrace. That's how the UK is being represented. Yeah. Well, I'm really torn on it because she's gone into a Wetherspoons. She's ordered that. That's what she's received. And then she's been disappointed. And if you look at it, you understand why. If I got that on a plate, I'd be disappointed. But I do feel there's a bit of context that's missing. I think there's a bit of context missing. Because I think there's key ingredient. If we have to call up the Wetherspoons menu, we will do that. And we'll see if you can even order such a thing without saying, I don't want this, I don't want that. Right, I'm going over to it here. This is the Wetherspoons menu. So even a small breakfast is a fried egg, bacon, sausage, baked beans, and hash brown. Where was the beans? Where was the sausage? That is a small breakfast. Small breakfast, right? Small. You can go large. 2 eggs, bacon, 2 sausages, beans, 3 hash browns, mushrooms, 2 slices. Why didn't she go large? She's earning loads of money. She's earning loads of money. Why did she not go large? She went small. I'll have a small breakfast, but also leave these items off. Even if she'd gone, look, she could have had small American breakfast, fried egg, hash brown, maple cured bacon, sausage, 2 pancakes, maple flavored syrup. She'd have loved that. She's American. She'd have loved it. And that was small. She's honestly, she's a proper heel, because the more we look into this, the more that she's done us dirty, actually. She's done us dirty. She's played into the whole bad cuisine thing, which is fine. But she's gone and ordered a small and then asked for things to be left off. Imagine me going to America, walking into Denny's and going, oh, can I have your small breakfast? Can you leave this off? And then just sitting there with like a flipping waffle on a plate going, is this the best you've got, America? Is this the best you can do? A waffle on a plate. That's fine. Right, we've got Ashanti against Dion. That's what we've got at the moment. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Shucky ducky. Sir, please, no more. I've already shoved 4 sausages in this morning, says Corey. Well, Corey, sounds like you're having a good day. Right, we've got Ashanti in the ring with Dion. Dion used to snap when someone, I think, like, as soon as he took his glasses off. That was his old gimmick. Don't think he does that anymore. Do you know what? They've got something called the Freedom Breakfast, which is 2 fried eggs, bacon, baked beans, 2 hash browns, mushroom, and tomato. Sounds quite nice, but I don't know why it's called the Freedom Breakfast. You want to go Eggs Benedict, don't you? Little bit of Eggs Benedict. Let's go, mate. Let's flipping go. I'm sorry to keep going on about it, but can I just show you the range that they've got? You can add a hash brown, blueberries, strawberries, honey, banana, apple, fruit and yogurt, small beans on toast, poached egg on toast, scrambled egg on toast, mushrooms Benedict, miners Benedict, eggs Benedict, American pancakes with fresh fruit, small American style pancakes with bacon and syrup, small American style pancakes with syrup. Look at this. Small American breakfast, retro brunch, a shashishushka, whatever that is. Whatever's a shashishushka. We got that. Freedom breakfast, vegan breakfast, small vegetarian breakfast, large vegetarian breakfast, small breakfast, traditional breakfast, large breakfast. It's not our fault she don't know how to order. For that reason alone, I am not going to AEW Wembley. Super kick lands. I love that from Ashanti doing the stomps in the corner like Shawn Michaels. He tuned up the band and delivered sweet chin music. So Ashanti, the Adonis, picking up a very quick win over Dion Lennox. Let's get people's scores. So he jumps out the ring. We've obviously got our main event coming up next. Oh, there's Lexis King. Just having his throne polished. Here is Lash and Jakara. We made the jump and we're here. So Jakara was in the Titan Games. Lash was in the WNBA or whatever it is. The lady basketball. She was in that, wasn't she? Here's Lexis. I'm not going to lie. It's a pretty cool name. Fatal Influence. So that was trademarked. Meta 2. You guys don't want that baggage. He did. He just went, swoop. Here's Oro. I fought so hard, I just couldn't get the job done. We've got to keep it together because meta is better. Roxanne Perez taking on Jada Parker. Fatal Influence, the JC James group name. Didn't WWE change that recently? People thought it might be Sonya's group. They did. Obafemi, Tony D'Angelo, boom. So there we go. Obafemi, Tony D'Angelo, NXT North American Championship match made for No Mercy. And Chase U are going to be taking on Nathan Frazier and Axiom. And Roxanne takes on Jada Parker. We got 3 matches announced and we're about to add our next one. because we know that Ethan Page will defend against the winner of our main event. Let's go. Let's flippin' go. Superkick is no longer an effective finisher, says A.B. Jobson. Number 1 contenders match. Wesley making his way down to the ring. We don't have loads of time for this, do we? Wes against Joe against Peter. Pete Dunne. This match could bang, said Mitchell. What about some Star Wars humor? Jar Jar Banks, says Akeem. What, on NXT? I'd enjoy Jar Jar Banks in NXT. Spartan said, how has your day been today? My day has been a bit rubbish because I needed to get up early to watch the dog because the dog was in and needed letting out. So it meant I had to get up earlier than I wanted to, and I went to bed quite late because I did quite a bit after Raw with like different videos and uploads and whatever. So I was like, ugh. So I tried to get a little nap. Tried to fit a little nap in there, but it's never. I think if you wake up and you're just off from the get-go, you're just off, really. I find that now. If I wake up and I'm like, oh, it just takes me a while to get going because I haven't really had enough sleep. Even if I have a little like hour later on, I'm still like not quite right. So yeah. But I'm also now a little bit behind because of that with Unseen and everything. That's such a bad knock-on effect. This main event should be interesting, said Dro. It's got to be Joe Hendry. Is the only babyface in the match, said I am your father. NXT Play Hair Metal Party continues. Time to flip this LP, said Akeem. AKF said it's time for Wes and Pete to carry Hendry in this match. He stopped saying thank you. That Daze is so rude. Hello, Dave. Hope you're well. Yes, that was a pretty fun message earlier, wasn't it? That was a pretty fun message. Perhaps Mercedes didn't say thank you when she went into Weatherspoons, and that's why we served that to her. I'm over it. It's all right. I think we've proven, though, haven't we, that you can't necessarily walk into a Weatherspoons and get that unless you ask for that. I think we've proven that. I mean, I don't have shares in Weatherspoons or anything, but I will fight. I will fight for its reputation. There ain't that many places you can get a cheap beer in these days. Jackson, shout out to you, my friend. Akeem said, dogs do rule our lives. Congratulations, Daze. Very kind of you. Your fuzzy friend will always appreciate it. I don't think she will, to be honest. She's fat. She appreciates food and not much else. She is spoiled. CEO, but gets served a terrible breakfast, said Spartan. The Cheesecake Factory has that stuff. What stuff? What does... I've never been in a Cheesecake Factory, but I think I'd love it. I'm going to have a look. Would I love a Cheesecake Factory? I'm going to have a look. Cheesecake Factory. Let's have a look at some pictures. I think I would, you know. I'm guessing they do cheesecakes, and I enjoy a cheesecake. What we got? Ooh. Ooh. Should have gone. Knew it. Blummin' knew it, didn't I? Should have gone. White chocolate raspberry oh my god. White chocolate raspberry truffle. Chocolate mousse. Strawberry topped original. What's the other one? Snickers. Oh my god, yes. I'll have them all. One of each. All of them. Look at that. Look at that. That's like I'd feel like I was on the Titanic. Amazing. What's this? That ain't cheesecake. They've got cheesecakes that look like pasta. Oh my God. Look at all this. Look at that cheesecake. It's mental. Look at this cheesecake. Look at that. It's got gooey stuff in the middle of the burger. That must be fondant. It's got fondant in the middle. That's all cake, that is. That's all cake. That's fondant. That's all cake. Can't get your breath, can you? How these Americans live. We don't have anything like this. Look at that. Could be me. That could be me. That could be me. Look at him. Never been that happy in my life. Amazing. Amazing. Look at that family having the day out. Look at all these people rushing there. Oh, I'd love it. I'd have such a good time. Ethan Page is on commentary. We are back. Akeem says, no, don't go to the Cheesecake Factory. It's a scam. What, they don't have any cheesecakes? They're not an actual factory. It's a farce. It's like Hansel and Gretel and the witches. They're just going to put you in a kettle. I don't think that's what happens. I don't think they do that, do they, in Hansel and Gretel? Does someone end up in a kettle? Are you sure? Are we thinking about the same fairy tale? Someone ends up in a kettle? Do you mean an oven? It was an oven, wasn't it? I don't think anyone ended up in a kettle. Don't know. What's this? Every Cheesecake Factory cheesecake. Oh my God, is that Good Mythical Morning? Good Mythical Morning must have done a video where they try every cheesecake from Cheesecake Factory. Oh God, why am I sat here doing this when there's other YouTubers doing that? That's what I should be doing. I mean, we don't have a Cheesecake Factory, so it does make it difficult. Okay, here's Joe Hendry. It's got TNA Impact next to his name. I don't know if that's always been there. But strawberry cheesecake is goated, said K-Dub. Akeem said, seriously, Cheesecake Factory is worth a visit next time. That was quite an innovative sign, wasn't it? Someone had the back of Joe Hendry's head and then they spun it round so that he was facing the right way. Ethan Page said impartial commentary would be nice, and he asks Vic Joseph to cut out the waving. I'm just thinking about cheesecakes. I'm right here. Right, they jump in. Wes and Pete Dunne attack Joe. Now we've got Pete and Wes throwing in shots. Bell has sounded and we are underway. Winner faces Ethan Page at NXT No Mercy. William said, book me a reservation at the Cheesecake Factory for an apple pie and steak. Carmen said, if you visit the United States, you've got to try Cracker Barrel Old Country Store. Okay. Oh, I think I went. Did I go? Did I go? There was one where it's like all you can eat and you just go up and you just keep having stuff. I don't know if that was Cracker Barrel, though. No, that might have been Golden Corral. Did I go there? There was one where you can just go up and have whatever you want. And they started cooking steak, which I was like, it's like $13, all you can eat. Which, you know, you expect your pastas and you expect your, I don't know, meatballs. You expect your green beans and you expect your bits of lasagna and whatnot. Dude came out, started cooking steak. I can have one of them. When you're done, he's like, yeah, I'll be done in about 5 minutes. Get steak. I only paid $13. And And I'm pretty sure I bet about $20 of food. Yeah, I think that was Golden Corral. Daze, that is Golden Corral. I was very impressed. I think I told a story as well when I was in there. I sat down and a guy went, didn't realise he'd been champ that long. It's like, what? I'm sorry, you're talking to me. He went, yeah, the back of your shirt. And I was like, and I had Bruno Sammartino shirt on. It had all the stats on the back. And as soon as I sat down, this guy was like, I didn't realise he'd been champ that long. I was like, oh, yeah. 2 title reigns for Bruno, 7 years and 4 years. It's like, yeah, I remember watching him on TV. That's the great thing about wrestling shirts. You can get into conversations. Joe Hendry is in the ascendancy. Spartan said we need to do a member stream about cheesecake. You're so right. Dave said $30 all you can eat and fizzy pop free so that you can fill up on pop and eat less. Over the top lands on his feet there, Pete. Boom. Kick coming in. Shots coming in as well. I gotta tell you, it's really good value because Florida is not as cheap as it used to be, which is understandable. But it used to be like really good. I used to go in the 2000s, and it's not as competitive as it used to be, price-wise. But yeah, that was good. I was very impressed with that. Right, we are at commercial break. If I lived in the States, I'd be like £400. Okay, yeah, well, you can understand why people are large. Not all people, but like there is an obesity crisis in America, which has come over to the UK now. But you can understand it. I hope that Joe stays in TNA. I just don't see anything in him. If he didn't have that song, I don't think he'd be over, says AKF. Cracker Barrel has got a store, says Mike. You are thinking Golden Corral, said Charles. Thank you, Charles. I really enjoyed it. Do you know, they've got a Ponderosa as well, which I really recommend. I already knew about Ponderosa. I like Ponderosa. Cracker Barrel, though, I think... No, not Cracker Barrel. Golden Corral is, I think, in a lot more places than Ponderosa, but I'm not sure. So we've just got this advert for the Damian Priest documentary. Do you remember the cheesecake joke? Yeah. Cheesecake. Garlic bread. My mum loves Peter Kay. Loves him. Big Time said, did anyone else see the viral photo on Twitter of a dead squirrel with a condom behind it? Not interested in those things. Keep it wrestling. Mitchell said, Daze, when you come to America, how does the conversion work for currency? Do you pull out a bunch of American money? I didn't actually. Do you know, when I went to America, I didn't change a single dime. I did need some, though, for tips. But I didn't. If you go to your shop, you just use your card, don't you? So you just paid on card and it just did it. But really, when it came to tips, that's when I needed it. But you can pay for everything on card now. Even when I went to the NXT house show and I bought some there was a card machine. So I didn't need any. And do you know what was really interesting? The conversion rate was 1-for-1 at the airport. It was really bad. So if I gave them £1, they'd give me $1. And that's not good. Right? When I used my card, it was 1.2. So it meant that for every dollar, it was, for every pound, sorry, I was getting $1.2. So I was getting more for my money, basically. So it was better using my card. And that soon adds up, you know, if you're spending a bit, that 0.2, it might not sound like much, but it does make a difference. It's like 20% extra, isn't it? Fall away there by Joe Hendry. We are getting closer to the overrun. K-Dub said Fogo de Chao. Not heard of it. Don't know it. Zycamy said, why is NXT No Mercy starting at 4:30 in... I don't know. I don't know. Where are we for it? Are we on the... I don't know. Where are we? Are we on the West Coast or something? I don't know where we are. I don't think we're at the Performance Center. Here we go. Joe Hendry is stomping away. He's getting the crowd to clap along with him. Pete Dunne coming over. He grabs Pete Dunne and he grabs Wes. Pete Dunne with a forearm strike. Kick to the midsection by Wes to Pete Dunne. This is a triple threat. Does NXT get so much extra time? I'm not complaining. Oh, it just goes into an overrun of 8 minutes, doesn't it? It just does that each week. Yeah, Wesley with a springboards. Moonsault. Down goes Pete Dunne. Down goes Joe Hendry. NXT chants breaking out. Big Time said, I know people want Raw to have less commercials on Netflix, but I'm happy with commercials. I don't want to see rest holds and then the match dying. Oh, I hate that about AEW, yeah. That was always the problem with AEW when, like, or one of them. We'd go to commercial in America, but in the UK, we would stick with the action and the matches just died. Right now, Pete Dunne has got Joe Hendry, he's got Wesley. He's working on the joints, pulling back on the fingers. No joy. Picks up Wes. Boom! Wes lands on top of Joe. 2. Shoulder up by Joe Hendry. I think we're all expecting Joe Hendry to get the win here. It'll be a shock. Not a massive shock, but it'll be a shock if he doesn't. Pete Dunne against Ethan Page could be fun. Give No Mercy a little extra star power, wouldn't it? But Joe, I think, is the favourite. What do you do when you have trouble sleeping, says Miki. I don't have too much trouble, to be honest, because I tend to just work until I'm like falling asleep and then I go to bed. So I don't tend to go to bed whilst I'm awake. Kick out there by Pete. I mean, I'll be up for hours and hours after this. I mean, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I probably won't go to bed till about 10. I'll be up for another 7 hours. I obviously won't have any more caffeine or anything. I'll be working on videos and scenes and replying to people and all that stuff. And by the time I go to bed, I find that, you know, I'm ready. Pete knocks into Wes. Wes goes down. Imagine Nate Diaz in WWE, said Spartan. Here we've got Pete Dunne climbing up. We've got Wes just trying to scoot himself over Joe Hendry. Jumps up and he's got Pete. And he falls back. That was sloppy. I don't know quite what that was there. Bit of a miscommunication. Frog splash by Wes. 1, 2. Shoulder up by Joe. But No Mercy is in Colorado. Where's that? Is that in the middle? Are we dealing with a different time zone than the Eastern time zone? Because that might explain why it's at a weird time, if so. Goes against the ropes, but Pete Dunne grabs the hand of Wes. Pulls him out. Melanie, shout out to you. Hope you're well. Melanie said, how's it going, Daze? I've been gone for a little while. Well, lovely to see you again. Welcome back. Oh, massive. Choke slam. 1, 2. Whoa! Ethan Page pulled the ref out the ring. Ethan Page pulled the ref out the ring as Joe Hendry was about to get the 3 count. Wes lands on his head. He grabs Wes. He picks up Wes. He's going to drive him through the commentary table. Wes goes on the commentary table. The table doesn't break. So he lands on the commentary table, but the table stays standing. So yeah, Melanie, welcome back. We are reaching the climax of this show as Joe Hendry again slams down Pete Dunne, but there's no ref. Ethan is still stopping the other ref from coming down. So he's stopping the ref from coming down. Kick to the midsection by Pete, looking for the bitter end. Bitter end connects. Oh, now we've got Trick. Is that Trick jumping in? Trick's going to cost Pete. The ref gets in the ring. 1, 2, 3. So Joe Hendry has picked up the victory. Pete Dunne is attacked by Trick Williams. So there we go. Joe Hendry, TNA star Joe Hendry, taking on not long removed Ethan Page from AEW for the NXT Championship at No Mercy. But that was a good ending, said Zay. I went to the American Legion post, said Carmen Live. Well, I hope you had a good time. Okay, let's get scores in. Hello, who's this? Is that Wentz attacking Wesley? Wentz is in there attacking Wesley. Wentz is being pulled up. That's a grudge match, innit? They should do that at No Mercy. Let them fight is the chant of the crowds. Once again launching himself at Wesley as the security guards try to separate them. And there we go. That was NXT. It's loud, you know. Boom. Right, James said, I could see Josh Alexander costing Joe Hendry at No Mercy. Where's got jump, said the Beach Kevin. Amazing ending, said Dro. The prestigious one won, says King Yeti. Yeah, we'll get the scores up on the other channel. Like the overall show scores. Carmen Live said the next ARW Pro event at the American Legion is on September 14th. Well, there we go. We've let everyone know now, buds. So if anyone's thinking of going, they know the time that they need to, the day that they need to go there, the 14th. Do we know the time? It's about 7, is it? Something like that. Do they need to get tickets in advance? Jeremy said NXT has become must-see. Dro gives it a 7. The Jimmy J says 7. Carmen Live said, I'm going to give it an 8. Kian said it was better than Raw. William said 6.9 because Mitchell was saucy tonight. Erin gives it a 7, and Charles said it was a solid NXT show. Jessica loved the match and gives it a 9. Alkaline, shout out to you. We need a watch along. We need a watch along for the ARW Pro event on September 14th. We do, you're right. I think that's a Thursday. We're free for that, aren't we? Big Time says, Days, monster numbers. UFC is a testament to the viewing experience. That's very kind, Big Time. I appreciate that. I don't worry about such things, to be honest. I think all you can do is just do your best, and the numbers will do what the numbers do, really. It's an ever fluctuating, changing landscape, and, you know, it is what it is. So, very kind, appreciate it, but As long as people have fun, that's all I'm bothered about. As long as we can keep the lights on and people have a good time, that's all that matters. ARW Pro are always putting on good shows, says Aubrey. Don't dispute it. AKF said 575. Mitchell said I'll go 675 to 7. What about you? I kind of felt the second part of the show dropped off a bit. I was really high on Chase U against Axiom Nathan, Wendy Chu against Lola, the Gauntlet. I mean, they weren't amazing, but I thought we were doing well. And then we got the Hank Tank match, which didn't really do it for me. Ashanti against Dion was, you know, what it was. You lot scored that good 94%. And then the main event, no real surprise. You know, it's Joe Hendry that picks up the win. And yeah, I kind of felt the first hour was stronger than the second hour personally. So probably settle about a 6.5. I probably was up there, but second hour I think just brings the score down a little. But I think it was still solid. I don't think this was a bad episode by any means. There was plenty of talking points. I've sent Daze a video of ARW Pro the other day, said Corey. Daze, how do we think with SmackDown overall with Roman being back? I still feel like the show is in a funk, said Big Time. Yeah, well, it's better that Roman's come back, but he's not back this weekend because he was only back, I think, for a couple of weeks, and that's it now. So I think that show does need a bit of a boost, but I didn't realise that it moves so soon. You could totally understand any creative that they've got planned for that show, anything big and juicy, they're saving it for when it moves. So I think right now it's probably not fair to judge it too much, because I understand they're going to want the move to be, you know, a big deal and be a success. But if they can promote that first show as having Roman and maybe some legends, maybe, I don't know if you get Cena or, you know, whoever, you know, you have Shawn on it, you have Triple H on it, whatever. I think that you could understand them kind of just holding off and not wanting to do some of the good stuff until they move to USA Network, which is like middle of September. So yeah, I think they're just waiting, to be honest. I think that it's just a case that they are going to do the move, and then I think we should hopefully get some good stuff. Because I agree, it's been below Raw standards for a fair while now. Right. I didn't think about that. It's a real smart strategic move, said Zay. With AEW going international, will ARW Pro go international, says Tony K. Yeah, well, they need to. They can't stay in... I don't know. I don't know if Carmen Live has ever mentioned where they operate from. So I'm not sure where they're based, to be honest. But they can't stay there forever. They need to branch out. They're one of the fastest growing promotions in the world. I feel like we talk about them on this channel more than WWE. So clearly there's a lot of interest in them. I bet ARW Pro still get more views than AEW, says James. Maybe. There is an ARW Pro YouTube channel, is there? Carmen Live, do you run that? I can only imagine that you do. AB Jobson said the women's gauntlet match was fantastic. There we go. Yeah, as I said, I thought this was a really solid offering from NXT. I think it's been a bit of a mixed bag this year, but I think this was a very solid offering and massively advanced the No Mercy card, didn't it? Lots of matches have come together tonight, so lovely, lovely. We move on, and I'm looking forward to that. But I do need to move on. I need to move on to doing an unseen, so I'm going to run away and do that. Big thank you to everyone that's joined us tonight. We need to end this poll. So that got a great rate in our main event. Great 62%. Good 25. All-time 10. Bad 1. So it gets great 72%. So I think, does that mean it's a highest rated match? It is. Highest rated match of the show goes to the main event. And I actually don't know where that puts it in relation to like recent matches. I know there was some great ones from Raw. Sheamus, Pete Dunne got that's amazing for Pete Dunne in here. Isn't that amazing? On Raw, Sheamus Pete Dunne does great 73%. Then 24 hours later, he's in the main event of NXT and it gets great 72%. So, look at this. We've got a new 5-star machine in Pete Dunne, just churning out these great matches. Okay, awesome. Appreciate the support, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. I'm gonna run away and start working on that video, so I will see you again next